Dennis Sperling.
In the city where the lights don't sleep, Uncle D got the vibe so deep. Representing men strong and free. Dennis Sperling's the king of the spree. In the streets where the rhythm flows, black men rising, that's how it goes. Uncle D got the truth to show. In his heart, that's where the fire glows. Late night tuning, light up the stream. Dennis Sperling, wisdom gleam. Voices whisper truth and insight. In his podcast, feel the light. Harmony in every word. Truth and laughter you've heard.
Oh, that's all right.
Wave after wave of smooth delight. Dennis brings the dark to light.
That's the blizzard, baby.
Share the tales unfold. The stories warm like morning gold. Feeling the wisdom inside. Subscribing like time after time.
Black men, black men, black men. I want to salute you. Your incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from. We are doing great for ourselves. So you should salute yourself. Shout out to all the brothers out there, whether you're a truck driver or engineer, whether you're an electrician or garbage man, a doctor, a lawyer, if you're a hardworking brother, if you fresh out the penitentiary, but you on your grind and you doing it legal and you trying to make amends for yourself, man, I salute you too, brothers. God bless you. This is Uncle D, and you know, I'm out.
My name is Dennis Sperling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas. My mandate is to be an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father. I have black sons. And I want to make sure that the issues confronting black men are defended, protected, enunciated, spoke upon by black men who have a vested interest in the black community. And so my draw to the Black Manosphere, or YouTube in general, to use my voice, my wisdom, my experience, was solely because black men weren't being heard. But they're hearing us now. They're hearing us as to our issues related to modern relationships, politics, education, finance, and so many other things. And I'm extremely proud of these gentlemen. I'm extremely proud of the people who put this together. It is a wonderful event, and I look forward to attending in the years to come. Hey man, I do what I do.
Accept reproductive rights, which, if you follow the news, is the most important issue for women. Isn't it important for you all?
Absolutely, 100%.
The most dangerous place for a black person in America is actually in our mother's stomachs, because 50% of black deaths a year in America is a.
They've been banking on fear, specifically out of fear of white supremacy racism. They want us to believe that the biggest threat to the black community is racism from outside forces.
You are now rocking with Dennis Sperling, Uncle D. And we talking about the lovely ladies out here. You gonna have to step over them bodies, baby, because it's gonna look nasty. And I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have to have your passport, and you can't shed a tear, baby. And it's only for the weak of mind. And introducing, she ain't acting right. Replace that bitch and call her Uber, get the packing light. You want a man, be the man, pull out the strap tonight. I'm on the first plane smoking, trying to catch a flight. See Maria, she do plumbing, she can fix a pipe. Molly Susie up in Thailand, she massage me right. Your employment is not needed, fire, yikes. I love. See they falling one by one, see the changeover. Black men ain't playing games cause the game's over. PS4 and PS5 in the Range Rover. Girls night, so lame, got a hangover.
I picked you up in my boat and I brought you here to Bangkok. And we had a sick night, bitches. Whoa. You ready for craziest story ever?
in Bangkok filming like it's hangover. 2,000 baht, say the thought and get your hangover. So many women, man, free, they don't need a man. 20-year-old, 30-year-old, they all holding hands. 40-year-old, 50-year-old, she ain't got a plan. Turning 60, now she ready, bitch, I'll be damned. You had a chance to keep your man, now you're fed, shouting. You the op, politically bought, with them feds shouting. Benedict on her, you the Judas, with them Diddy parties. You gotta be ready to turn your head over them dead bodies. Stepping over, do your two-step. 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 Reproductive justice, baby, that's a murder. 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 Tell my black babies I love them. If you don't make it, it's the black fathers who suffer. Black mothers don't love you, she let the mother men touch her. Brenda had a black baby and stuffed them inside a gutter. You opened up your shutters and gave away all your butter. Thinking about yourself, you selfish piece of nothing. You be hiding, but you hiding, you don't see them angels. Part of the devil's lullaby, hearing Margaret sang her. It's no wonder why Beyonce had to switch her angles. When two witches hit them switches, all you see is danger. Abort away our blessings, delete generations. Reproductive justice, nah, black annihilation. This what happens, you allow women to run a nation. They kill an innocent without a hesitation. She can't get nothing from me. Not a touch, not a hug, nothing from me.
And I'm gonna keep showing the world what black men can truly be. And if my if my public giving bothers you, mother fudge cake, maybe it's because deep down you know you should be doing the same damn thing I'm doing. So stay mad. Matter of fact, put a cape on and be super mad. Hey,
when you look. You're right. Your sister was home when you look. You're right. Your brother was home when you look. You're right. The dog was home when you look. You're right. The cat was home when you look. You're right. The fish was home when you look. You're right. Your mommy, your daddy, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you look. You're right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. Yeah. Big shout out to my man, Red Sigma. Hold on a minute. I got my spray bottle for you. Don't no more your tough talk. I know this is going to be one of those nights where we we just have to go in. Somebody type winter has arrived in the chat room. Somebody type winter has arrived. Somebody type winter is here, whatever your preference. Big shout out to my man, Mark the Freelancer. Shout out to who else we got up in here, man? Mark the Freelancer. I see you, of course, Red Sigma. What's up, guys, man? Hit the number one button. Let me know you're in here. My name is Dennis Sperlin, also known as the Blizzard King. I am more than happy to be here. I enjoy doing this with you guys. It is what it is, man. Donald Trump has ushered in so many different changes, man. he is he's something else, ain't he? Somebody type something else in the chat room. He is basically doing everything he said he was going to do, and some. And a lot of folks are upset. Shout out to all my people in here, man. I appreciate you guys. So, wow, gosh, let me go over my notes first. I have some notes I want to share with you guys. I want to kind of talk about the day to day. We're going to talk about welfare and DEI. I'm going to give you a little history about it like I like to do. I do have some videos that I'd like to share with you all. Man. But first up, I just want you guys to understand over the past week or so, we've been talking a lot about folks who are being deported. And what's often overlooked is the Black illegal immigrants and the Black folks who are being sent home. And specifically, I want to give a shout out to all the Jamaicans out there, because apparently it's 5,120 of y'all that need to be sent home. I'm just don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm not here, okay, to cause trouble. That's not what I'm here to do. All I'm saying is apparently there was a plane, shout out to Generation Malcolm X, there was a plane sending some Jamaican people back to their yacht, you know? Big up to the Jamaica, big up Jamaica. But there's one guy, if you look on this article, I'm gonna try to pull this article up, man. It's from the Jamaica Gleamer, okay? Jamaica Gleamer. And I'm gonna see if it's gonna pull up. You know, Uncle D got this retarded internet sometimes. I'll see if it happens. I'll definitely put the link in the chat room. But his name is Courtney Wilson. And they sent him home in handcuffs. He just actually got out of jail. He'd been in prison for 13 years. And so he committed a crime. He'd been locked up for 13 years. And as soon as he got out, immigration showed up, loaded him on the plane and sent him home, sent him straight back to Jamaica. He, along with 51 other Jamaicans, including women, landed in Norman Manley International Airport after being deported from the United States. And it was his first real sense of freedom, but he ain't been home in a long time. He ain't been there, you know. He don't know nobody there like that. You see what I'm saying? The man said his children and his grandchildren all live in the United States. So, this is a reality. But here's the thing, man. If you got a fair shot to be in the United States, chat room. I wish I could pull this doggone thing up. But and the thing is, I mean, I guess we empathize with them, but at the end of the day, do we really want people who commit crimes in our country, right? Especially we got enough crooks already, right? Don't we have enough people in our country that are willing to commit crimes? We got enough here now. I don't think we need more. You understand what I'm saying? And so anybody with good sense will recognize that is somebody says messing up the stream. Well, actually, I'm trying to work and put some finishing touches on this broadcast. But let me see if I can fix this for you guys, man. Let me see here if I can tighten this up a little bit so we can move on with the moving on. Y'all hit the number 1 button if you can hear me clearly. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me clearly. Hold on 1 minute. I think I can tighten this up real quick for everybody. Give me 1 second. I'll tighten it up. Let me see. That should clear it up pretty good. All right. Can y'all see me clearly now? Is it here? Okay. So that's the first thing that I've noticed. This Jamaican gentleman, he got deported. The next thing is there was this Asian politician, and I'll see if this will pull up. I'm having some issues where this fella, he said the following, and I'm gonna see if I can pull his photograph up. I know I've saved it, but this guy here, you guys should be able to see this. His name is Representative Gene Wu, and he says that this was his quote, right? I just want you to understand this. This is his quote, not mine. He says that he's urging minorities to recognize their shared history of oppression and systematic barriers they face. Here's the thing, look, a lot of Asian people here, a lot of Latino people here, but you all typically came here because you wanted to. You can't come over here to America, beg to come to the country, fight to come to this country, and then I guess complain about the oppression. I just want you to think about it. Look, I mean, is China less oppressive than the United States? Just think about it. Let's just pause for a minute. How many of you all are lined up to go to China? And I think this man's last name is Wu, so I'm assuming. I'm not saying he's not wrong. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. That's the first thing. Okay, your people lined up to come to this country, and you claim it to be so oppressive. But after traveling around a little bit and seeing some other places, let me tell you a story. I was down in Colombia. This had to be about 2015. At the time, I was dating this Dominican girl, and fine, pretty brown thing, man. Fine, pretty brown, fine. You know what I'm talking about, baby? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Look, all the right curves, right? So I said, baby, come on over. We're going to take you. She was from Santo Domingo. So I said, well, look, let's just go on over and hang out in Medellin. This is her first time going to Colombia. And I was like, all right, let's go on over and hang out in Medellin. So we ended up in Medellin. We partied all night, man, and it was a good time. But I decided I wanted to take the Narco Traficante tour because, you know, I've been watching the Pablo Escobar stories and whatnot, man. I thought it was pretty cool, you know. And so if you go down to Medellin, you can, they'll literally take you to the cemetery where all the narcos are buried. And they literally call it Narco Cemetery. You know, they got Griselda Blanco, Pablo Escobar, his cousin, you know what I mean? Like, wow. So, you know, it's cool. And then so we end up going to one of his old communities that he lived in, which was, you know, a pretty bad place. And there was police everywhere. They weren't bothering me. But as we were driving, we pulled up to a curb. I had my gold chain on, right? I had my gold chain on. Everybody who's listening, you understand? I'm in Medellin. I'm flexing my gold chain. I'm like, I ain't worried about these little short, small Colombian dudes. I ain't seen one taller than 5'2" yet. I'm 6'4". I wish one would, right? You know what I mean? I wish you would. And nevertheless, man, I'm riding down the street. I look over, police officers ride around on motorcycles. And I'm looking over like, and he looking at me like what I'm doing is odd. I'm just sitting in the back of a taxi. I'm a gringo. You know what I'm saying? I'm here doing what gringos do. I'm going on the narco tour. You know what I'm saying? And man, they pulled the taxi over. They pulled me out the car. And I didn't really understand what he was saying at that time. But basically having your chain out means, well, that's not a good thing. But for a police officer, they're like, this dude has his chain out, knowing you're not supposed to have your chain out in this community, because this is a bad community, he must be a bad guy. And I'm brown. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm brown, walking around with a chain out. I got this fine brown Dominican woman in the car with me. So they had to investigate. They pulled me over, man, snatched me out the car and told me to tuck my chain. You understand? And then once they found out I was in America, they were like, oh, okay, he don't know. So they said, well, you know, so the taxi driver said, well, just put your chain up. They'll be cool. Everything's cool. I didn't have to pay him anything. But, you know, that would never happen, or it shouldn't happen. That's driving around with a chain on is not unlawful conduct. You see what I'm saying? And I say all that to say, we complain so much about the United States. But here's the thing. Do you really want to go some of these other countries? Because the last time I went to Mexico, I was told if you run across a Mexican police officer, you're going to have to pay to play. You understand me? I've experienced some things in Colombia. I know many of the other countries we go to are the same way. And so, you know, when I listen to, you know, this Representative Gene, okay, cool, I get it. I see what you're saying. Now, his exact quote was as follows. He said, talking about oppression, he said, the day Latino, African-American, and Asian and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. And Wu stated on the podcast, Define American with Pulitzer Prize winning journalist San Antonio Vargas. Now, here's the thing, man. What I need you to understand is this. Okay, first of all, I disagree. He should rephrase that statement. He should say the day Latino and Asian and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor with African Americans is the day we start winning. And you see what I'm saying? It's not black people that don't know there's a problem. We know there's a problem because we are black and we're not trying to be white. In fact, I would argue we like some white stuff. You see what I'm saying? We like them white BMWs and we like that green money with them old white men on it. But for the most part, we enjoy ourselves. We love ourselves. We have our own culture, our own way of doing things. And, you know, so it's different. And that's why black folks fought for everything that these other minorities enjoy today, right? And then, you know, and as far as a grand gesture of for our grateful sacrifice, no, typically we get spit in the face, right? And so, you know, they set up affirmative action for black people, and guess who takes the majority of the spots? Asians, Africans from the continent. You know, we see that we are oftentimes treated poorly. Latin America, Africans in Latin America or Afro-Latinos are treated poorly often in Latin countries and other communities. So it's not that black Americans have an issue. It's not us, okay? That's not our issue. You see what I mean? We already know what's up. But here, at the end of the day, when you really start talking about oppression, you got to put it in context of you invited yourself to this country. Nobody invited you. So you walked into it. Black people, on the other hand, this is what we got. This is our country. Now, the crazy part about it is there was a rebellion in the early United States before it became the United States when it was a colony. And black people and white people teamed up, okay? I'm trying to look up Ferguson. I think it was called the Ferguson Riot. I think that was it. And at this point, this is Bacon's Rebellion. That's what it was. That was somebody typed Bacon's Rebellion in the chat room. As I recall, I think what happened was, this was in Virginia in the 1600s. There was a guy named Anthony Johnson. He secured his freedom from being an indentured servant, and he became a respected member of the community. Okay. But nevertheless, you know, things happen. And so the laws at that time, that's when it began, because of this rebellion, that's when they began to distinguish between black people and white people. So before that, either you were rich or you were poor. You were an indentured servant or you were a landowner. And so, you know, Nathan Bacon, he was a wealthy white property owner and a relative of the governor at the time, William Berkeley. And they didn't like each other, okay? And they disagreed over a lot of issues and how the colony should be governed. But nevertheless, long story short, Bacon wanted the colony he wanted the colony to retaliate for different raids being conducted by Native Americans on frontier settlements, right? You had some people who were out in the sticks, and the Native Americans would go over there and whoop up on them, okay? And so, you know, he wanted the governor to do something out, send the militia out here, right? And it consisted of white and black indentured servants, okay? Well, I'm sure, let me say it like this. Bacon organized his own militia that was white and black people and enslaved blacks, and they joined in exchange for their freedom, and they attacked the tribes, you see? And the power struggle ensued in Bacon and his militia on one side, and then you got basically the government on the other side. So at that point, you had black folks and white folks, poor black folks and poor white folks fighting against the government together in Virginia. They never tell you that stuff. And so it was after that they said, you know what, we got to start giving these poor white folks these little nuggets. We got to tell them they're different. We got to put them on our side. We have to do stuff like that. And so that's when the racial division really popped up. They never tell you about that. That's not something they want to talk about, because when they start talking about that, then you start saying, well, damn, why are we fighting? You see what I mean? You know, you could think what you want to think. Of course, racism always exists. bigotry always exists, but the bottom line is we really didn't start counting people based on their race until it was made up about 500 years ago. There's always been tribal differences and so on and so forth. But that's it. Look up Bacon's Rebellion. Now, the Colombian president, remember the Colombian president? Y'all remember this guy, right? The Colombian president has, he's told his people to come on home. They had a big conference recently, South American, including Mexico, all the South American, Central American countries had a conference, okay? And let me kind of pull this up for you so you can see. Boom, let me see that. And he told his people to come on home. He said, look, he said, Colombia's president, remember this guy, he wrote that long note? Remember that? He was talking about butterflies and mountains, this fellow right here. At the meeting, they had a conversation with all the Latin presidents, and he basically said, in the wake of all of what's going on, I want my compatriots working without legal status in the United States to leave their jobs and return home as soon as possible. And his statement is, wealth is only produced by the working people. And of course, his name is President Gustavo Petro. And he said that on X. Man, he need to chill with the X. Somebody need to get him. All right. So, this is the backlash that, we're dealing with. And this was said yesterday in Bogota. So, this is what's going on in the world, man. And of course, some of you guys may not know this, but the Mexican government has denied another flight, a military flight. Now, the American government, our government, is saying, oh, no, this is not a big deal. We were they were denied landing access. Another deportation flight. It was 80 folks on there, and they blocked the flight. But they've been taking All right, I'm back, you guys. I apologize. Sometimes when I have a lot of different screens going here, I have a whole system set up. Sometimes when I get a lot of screens going, it'll short circuit the system. We got a lot going on. But I left off, I was talking about the Mexican president, and she is basically, complaining that Trump is acting unilaterally, that she doesn't like it. And she recently said, hey, we're going to create 35,000 new jobs for our Mexican nationals. Now, we probably are going to try to send back a couple of million. 35,000 is probably not enough, you know what I'm saying? But see, the problem is this, and the reason there's so much resistance to Donald Trump sending these folk back is because realistically, they not only do they not have enough jobs for these folks, they don't have enough money. to support all these people if they come back. Can you imagine? You're going to lose the money that you otherwise would have.
Cope. Not sure any country.
Al Jazeera, who's a reporter from Al Jazeera, she had this to say. So you guys check this out so you can kind of understand why there's so much pushback. Why don't they want their people back? I mean, why? Because these people are actually help the economy by sending money back. So listen to this.
Mexico cannot cope. Not sure any country can, but Mexico can't cope with like a sudden influx of millions of people. I mean, as much as she wants to embrace them, to use her word, when they come back and make them feel welcome, it all sounds very nice when you're listening to it, but the reality of that is...
The reality is what?
It's just completely unsustainable. A lot of these people have lived in the U.S. for decades. They have lives there. They have families. They're good standing citizens. So,
I mean, imagine if you had to pack up all your stuff and leave, man. You can't do that. You can't just pack up everything and leave, right? You don't have a job. Most folk don't have but $1,000 in the bank. Here's a secret that everybody else around the world doesn't know. You come to America and you make a lot of money, but you pay a lot of bills too. You see what I mean? People don't realize how much money you pay in bills out here in these American streets. You understand what I'm saying? They think you just coming out here getting rich and making money. Yeah, but that gas bill shows up every month, doesn't it? It just keep popping up every month. And then, of course, there's other things you want to do, like eat. I mean, that's important, right? Eating is important. And so, and the cost of everything just keeps going up. So, yeah, we make money, and folks, typically foreign people, they send money home to family and friends. But damn, if I had to pack up and leave, I'm not going to generate that type of money. And what jobs are there really in Mexico for folks who are used to making $30,000, $40,000 a year? That's not going to happen at all. So, that's why they want to keep them there. It is what it is. I mean, we don't have to talk about it. Let's keep listening.
They're not in a position to just be deported and say like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to come back here and take a job making a fraction of what I used to make and go to my town where I don't have anything left, which is maybe it's been overrun by violence. I mean,
think about it. Imagine going back to your hometown 30 years later. Can you imagine going back to your same hometown that you had left? Think about that, man. Somebody type black jobs. Y'all crazy. Black, here you go. Black jobs. Here you go. It's subtle, okay? It's subtle. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say if they leave, we're gonna have their jobs, Uncle D. You're wrong for that. You're wrong. Okay, I'm gonna let you slide on that one. We're not gonna have any subtle bigotry in here tonight. You understand? None of that. None of that. Oh, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Where's it? I'm gonna put some salt in my spray bottle if y'all keep it up. But anyway, we're gonna cut that out. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Y'all make sure you subscribe and hit the like button as you come in. Let's keep listening.
It's unrealistic to think that wouldn't lead to a crisis.
Yeah, it's unrealistic. Now, nevertheless, those are my updates. So we'll kind of see what's going on now. The other thing is, and this is the big subject for tonight, praise God, is that welfare. Farewell. Remember Kevin Savage? Y'all remember old Kevin? I don't know if you knew him. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but let you see who Kevin Samuels is. I mean, surely you remember the late, great Kevin Samuels, one of my good friends. Listen.
I want to see you win. And I put pressure on us men to understand how we did not get our masculinity training. And we've been doing our work, okay? But now it's time for you ladies to understand you're going to have to bet on us like you want us to bet on you. I talked to several men this week. I don't just get on here and talk shit. I have men I call around the world and I ask, what do you think about this concept? Level set me. Shout out to brother Dennis Furley. Dennis, I'm not going to I don't want to tell people's business, but I'm going to tell you, high value men retire their women or make them come work for them. So ladies, what is it going to take for you to free yourself? Because you and I both know you're dying at these jobs. You're in a toxic.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the late great Kevin Samuels. So yeah, he and I were friends, man. Cool cat, man. If you met him in person, man, he was a real cool cat. But bottom line, one of the things that Kevin used to say all the time was that winter is coming, right? And you know, the reason I was able, I guess, the reason I have the name the Blizzard King is because you know, at the point, at some point, I first of all, I speak the cold hard truth. That's the first thing. Secondly, you know, I represent that cold shoulder. I represent the attitude that a lot of black men have. That song that Big Bass Life created, "Stepping Over the Bodies," came from a broadcast that I did almost 5 years ago, when I said that at some point, black men, and I was just talking to the brothers because, you know, my page is geared to talking to black men. Hold on. My page is just geared to talking to black men. And I basically said, look, at some point, if you have a group of women who don't recognize that the government is not their friend, and we see the environment changing, the political environment affects everything, right? When the welfare system dries up, you know, a lot of women, white, black, Hispanic, whatever, who have been able to exist, you know, because instead of having one man, they have the government, and they have the tax dollars paid to the government by men, because the majority of taxes are paid by men. It's just reality. It's not sexist, not being bigoted. That's just the reality. And so they can supplant their man, their natural man, who's the mother, the father of their children, or their father, or whoever, for the government. Then they can maintain their freedom, because the government's not going to tell them what to do. But at some point, it's going to end. At some point, that, like they say, all roads come to an end at some point. Okay? And that's what you see is happening right now. Right now, with the end of DEI, with the end of affirmative action, you're going to see a lot of women who've made their life, who've raised children, generations. Shout out to my man, Quiet Faith. Thank you so much. And you're going to see a lot of women who've been held up by the system come crashing down. And the odd thing about it is, you know, crazy thing about it, I would think, not crazy, but a lot of women it's women who've been the biggest critics of women who use the system. Not necessarily men, but women themselves. So, you know, I found it very interesting. I think we all find it very interesting what's going on out here in these streets. But if I can pull this up, man, I want y'all to check some of this stuff out, man. I mean, because these women are really on these ladies. Let me see if I can get this together for you, because golly, man. Let me see. I'm gonna take a quick. Well, there we go. I don't need to take a break. Let me see if I can pull this up. Y'all hit the number 1 button if you can hear me. Make sure you hit the number 1 button if you can hear me clearly. I cannot believe that I cannot find what I was looking for. This is terrible. Oh, there we go, right there. Bam. Y'all check this out. No, that ain't it. That's not it. I got you, man. I got you. Let me go ahead and try to just do it old school. So yeah, here we go. Well, I'll just let it play. Check this out.
I'm so tired of the fear mongering happening on social media about civil rights being taken away. And we gonna go back to the 40s and the 50s because of DEI. Have you ever thought about actually reading and seeing who benefited the most? Let me tell you, newsflash, it wasn't your black ass.
Lord.
Okay, who benefited the most was white women. And in true natural form of a white woman. We'll have the Negroes do the hard work.
Now, she's not lying, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit more. She's not lying. She's not telling the truth. She's not telling you a falsehood, and that's true. But the psyop that we've seen makes you think that it's black folks who are the number one beneficiaries of DEI, and that's just so untrue. But nobody believes it because you know it's unfortunate. But you got a lot of people who want to see other people suffer, and they rather see you suffer, than help themselves, and that's unfortunate. Let's keep listening.
While they sit back, look at us like idiots, while they benefit from an initiative the most, just like feminism. They benefited the most. Had you saying that you didn't need a man, but then they going home to their man, living a soft life, while you over here hard struggling, right? But y'all don't see that this is happening this time around. DEI did not benefit you. As a matter of fact, it probably helped not get you the job because they could hire that white woman instead of your black behind. Man, if y'all don't get a clue.
She mad. I mean, she's not wrong. And so, we've gone a long way. The media, or the fake news, as Donald Trump says, has gone a long way to having black folks and the rest of the world believe, black folks are the problem. Now, I want you to check this out. This is very interesting.
The United States historically have been severely handicapped by the party that they have been convinced to vote for over and over and over again. They've been made promises to, they've been lied to, they've been told that their schools were going to get money, that they were going to get economic impact in their neighborhoods, and it never happens because the people that convince them to vote for them are the most conniving, snaky, dirtiest politicians in the world, and they steal the money, and then they leave the black communities to flounder. That's been going on for 60, 70 years. That should be fixed before we go over to some place in some other part of the world and try to help those people. Like, those are American citizens that need to be fucking handled and treated just like every other American citizen. If I was a black person in America, in a black neighborhood, a black urban area that's been run down, and I see them sending hundreds of billions of dollars to other places like Israel and Ukraine and wherever else, what the dude? Look at my neighborhood. Right. Look at my community. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So basically, he's telling the truth. I mean, we can talk about it all day. We can scream about it all day. But at the end of the day, we were duped by the system. We were duped by the politicians. They truly did not have our best interests at heart. Now, a lot of people have taken even more aggressive
that they are
tone.
cutting food stamps for people who are able-bodied.
See, she represents angry women, especially our sisters, because when they go to the local grocery store and they're doing their budgeting and they're trying to make it to the next paycheck, and then you got somebody pull up with 6 or 7 kids. Okay, they got 6 or 7 kids in tow, and they got a cart full of food, and then they whip out an EBT card. This is, or they sitting in a Section 8 house, fully with 4 bedrooms and bathrooms and all that, and you find yourself struggling to pay bills after going to school and doing everything the right way. This sister right here represents that level of rage and anger, and I ain't mad at her. And many of y'all feel the same way. Just take a poll. I just want to take a poll. How many of you all are happy that Donald Trump is cutting welfare and EBT or limiting? How many people are happy? Shout out to my man, Lyndon Jefferson. Thank you so much, fam. How many of you all are happy? Let me know in the chat. Be honest. This is a place where we speak the truth. They call me the Blizzard King. The reason they call me the Blizzard King, because I speak that cold, hard truth here. Let me know if you're happy that they're cutting this stuff. Let me know. I want to hear it.
I'm glad that they are cutting food stamps for people who are able-bodied adults without a dependent. If you are an able-bodied adult without any dependents, why is it that you are receiving food stamps in the first place? Why is it that you cannot get up and go to work like everybody else, since you are an able-bodied adult without dependents. I'm glad that they're cutting food stamps. Now, I am not someone who thinks.
How many of y'all are happy that they're cutting food stamps? Let me know. Huh? Why? Let me know. If you're happy, hit. Let me know. Say, I am, me, however you express yourself. Let me know.
Nobody should ever get government assistance. You have fallen on hard times. I think it's fine if you need to get government assistance for a time. But I think there should be a limit to how much government assistance a person receives, especially if that person is an able-bodied adult.
Yeah, we have family members that have been bilking the system for decades, don't we? Some of you all know people who have been on food stamps. Their mother was on food stamps. Their grandmother was on food stamps. Some of you all know people like that, don't you? And you look at that like, man, I'm out here working, busting my butt, trying to get paid, and all this person does is sit around and collect checks. And that's the frustration. Shout out to my man Calvin King. So, I've yet to meet anybody who's cool with folk being on food stamps for any long period of time. This brother right here, this is the child support guy, Baby Mama, I forget his name. He has a song out. It's pretty cool. We will check out what he has to say. Let me see if I can get it to pull up.
Years. You ain't paid $1 for groceries in the grocery store in 10 years.
10 years. 10 years you ain't paid. 10 years. You just go to the grocery store. My car, and you got the nerve to call in.
But now that Trump talking about cutting that shit off, you upset and panicking because you ain't got no money?
I mean, how long do you expect the taxpayers to keep paying? Shout out to my man Black Marvel. In the words of Obsidian Support, Black Male Media, you've been on it these last few weeks since the election and covering the deportation and administration. I will, man. I had to take a break, man. I was tired, man. But at the end of the day, this is what we need to talk about. Like the Black manosphere, the manosphere at large. It started off talking about relationships. Okay. It went viral. But see, now what's coming next in about 4 or 5 years, and what they're realizing is that what is really going to affect society is the fact that you have folk like me, common sense, family-oriented men of all colors, all races, all ethnicities, men, because there are women on YouTube also, who have some basic, normal political views that most Americans can relate to. So we, once coming together, realize, hey, you know what? That's how I feel. And since there are more people that feel the way I do, I don't have to pretend that I go along and get along with some of these ridiculous policies. You all know that this last election, the politics of this the Democrats and the Republicans, but specifically the Democrats over the past 4 years, have made you think that you were crazy for not liking the fact that women could get hurt or have to biological men could participate in violent sports with women. They would have you feeling like you were crazy because you objected to men going into girls' bathrooms. They had you feeling like you were crazy because you didn't want folk who have these alternative lifestyles reading children's books to your kindergartners. They had you feeling you were crazy, okay? But here on the internet, on these manosphere streets, these Black manosphere streets, it was like, no, that's not going. That's the politics. Now, before that, remember, Kevin Samuels popped up, and Kevin was like an avatar, and he basically pooled all the knowledge from the manosphere at large and Black in the Black manosphere. And all Kevin really did was tell fat dudes to lower their standards, and chicks broke fat dudes to lower their standards, and old women to lower their standards. That's really all he did. He said, let's be realistic here, But to say that in public on national TV, or I guess we would call it traditional media, you would be considered fat phobic and all. So they had you thinking you were crazy for liking what every other person liked throughout history in a mate. And so nevertheless, that's why it took over. And so now you see the political wave coming forth. So over the next 10, 15 years, until something else new comes along, these YouTube streets, these people, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, whatever, we're going to dictate what happens. Most of you all can tell me what I said better than you can tell what like Don Lemon or somebody else said. You relate to me more so than some of those people because I'm a real person, you know, and I talk just like you talk, and I have the same beliefs that you all have. And I know because I interact with you every day. And what's more fun, interacting with somebody who can read your comments and give you a shout out than watching somebody on CNN or MSNBC way off in New York somewhere have some dry, silly conversation that you're really not interested in. Probably me. You see what I mean? That's why you're here, and you get variety. But nevertheless, let's get back to the conversation. Shout out to my man Johnny Harris. Thank you so much. So we are talking about this DEI stuff. Now I found this very interesting. Look at this right. Just hold on. Look at this.
I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right.
Now I don't know if she's pretending or if she's for real or nothing, but you know, if she's faking this, she needs to get herself
fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the?
Yeah, I apologize for the language, but this is the way I got it. Look, so she's going off because she found out that, and this is a white lady, right? And again, the vast majority of people on welfare are white, not black. But there's been a psyop to make you feel that black people are the ones on welfare. You understand what I'm saying? And the crazy part of it, you got a lot of poor white people who fell into that, and they say, yeah, let's do away with that welfare. But they're on welfare themselves. Because you wanted to see these people who, you've been told not to like because of bigotry and racism, they're taking your jobs, they're making it dangerous, blah, 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 blah. Because of that hate, that the people who are above and have the money, the people who have the higher classes, you do something to hurt yourself. I'm gonna send all those Mexicans home. And then the same one that sent the Mexicans home is cutting your welfare. You see what I mean? You let racism come back and bite you in the booty. You see what I'm saying? But let's keep listening to this poor young lady. Praise God.
Fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who can?
They don't care about that.
Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we fucking get.
Why don't you get a job at the
I need
people?
somebody to please fucking tell me he's lying. I can't.
He telling the truth.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
You gonna get a job. You get them kids back. Where you go? Where'd she go? Come back.
Fuck.
My people are watching. I'm trying to get my likes up. Don't get on back on the screen. Come on back up. What's all that crying? You sound like a pigeon. You ever seen pigeons doing it on the roof? Then the pigeons just take off and flap away. And you be like, roll, Petey, roll. And pigeons start rolling. Hold on, get back up. Somebody say, get back up, Methany. Get back up, Methany. Oh, y'all wrong for that. He said her name is not Methany. Her name is not Methany. You don't even know this young woman's name. What does that even mean anyway, Methany? Get off the ground. Hey, you know what? You need to clean that kitchen a little bit. Ma'am. Get off the dirty floor. Get off of the ground. Look, I'm done. You need to get up. I got to move on with the broadcast. Tell us what you want. Maybe we can get that like a GoFundMe or something like that. We need, praise God. I hope she makes it off the floor. Good job, Methany. Somebody type Methany in the chat room. I hope Methany makes it off the floor. You guys, we pray. But then there's a sister who I want y'all to. This sister was doing a review of this. Look at. She really went in. Just check her out. She went in better than I could. Shout out to Johnny.
Now, because what the fuck do you mean?
Look.
And I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits. What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is?
Look, I want y'all to look at that. When you see somebody, when you see a black woman looking at you like that, when you see a black woman looking at you like that, see that she looking. Straight on, like this. Yeah. She listening. She letting you go through it. She letting you go through it. Bethany is going through. Let it
happen. Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people?
We're gonna send all the people who work home now. You can't say you don't want to work. We're gonna send all the people who go do the work home because our racism told us they need to go home. They was taking our jobs. So you can work now if you want to. You and your kids, praise God.
People like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat because.
Where's your baby daddy's at, baby girl? Where's your baby daddy at? Where's your children's father? That's what we want to know, Methany. Y'all say, ask Methany, where's your baby daddy at? Everybody in the chat room. Do they say that? Say, where's your child's father? Where's your child's father? Ask Methany.
That benefits is all we fucking get. I need somebody to please fucking tell me he's lying. I can't.
He's not lying. I told you last time. Don't melt.
What the fuck am I
Don't
gonna
melt,
do?
baby. Don't melt. You're gonna have an asthma attack. Okay, so you're about to go all the way in.
Oh, fuck.
Now y'all know I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump because, I wanted low taxes. Sorry, I apologize. I wanted low tax. I ain't in that tax bracket. I wanted low taxes. Me being selfish, vote your interest. I tell y'all that all the time. I told y'all I'm trying to get that Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? I've been wanting one since I was a kid, and I'm trying to get that double R, that rah. I'm trying to get that Rolls Royce. Maybe a Phantom, maybe a Ghost. I don't know. Maybe a Wraith. I'm gonna think about it. But let's listen to him cook. Listen to him cook.
Last night, Donald Trump signed 4 executive orders freezing federal grants and loans. A temporary funding freeze that could affect trillions of dollars. Now,
Uncle Trump said, "Nah, we're gonna shut it down." Praise God. Keep listening.
You were sitting there going like, "Well,"
and this is I don't know his name, but he got real good hair. Look how his hair. He got waves. You know what I'm saying? Look at his hair. Look at his hair. That's like when brothers had that good wave after putting that wave cap on all night, and this is what he got. He did good with the Moose is hitting player. Keep it going.
What exactly does that mean? I'm confused. You are in the majority, including politicians who are like, what exactly?
I hope I don't get demonetized for this channel because I'm playing Moonlight Sonata by Shakespeare. We hope. Maybe I should put some gangster rap in the background, so that we can cloud the internet, and the internet won't know I'm up here playing Mozart. I hope it's part of the public domain.
Exactly do you mean? This is like the language in the orders are very vague. It sounds like you're just shutting everything down. As of February 1st, no more money to programs. And I think there's a bunch of his supporters going, good, tired of these libs throwing all our tax dollars in like DEI and trans this or that. He's finally stopping it. But before you celebrate too hard, allow me to expand upon what this means. Trump orders freeze on federal assistance programs like rental and food assistance.
Ooh, somebody type Section 8 in the chat, Ryan. Big shout out to my man Nuridan, FDNY guy 1677. Somebody type Section 8, gone in the chat room, gone. Okay, keep moving.
Programs such as Section 8 housing, free school lunches, food stamps, Medicaid, Head Start, early childhood education, Meals on Wheels has already said, like, it's going to shut us down.
Shut it down.
Imagine the chaos if Section 8 payments just stop. Imagine the chaos and the effects, the massive effects, if anyone who's receiving food stamps or Medicaid is suddenly cut off. And before you start dancing a jig, saying, yeah, a bunch of freeloading brown folks, the group that receives the most of these services
Dun, 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 is
far and away over any other is white people.
white people.
And I did that little accent I did.
White people. You are the primary recipient of welfare. Section 8, EBT, and pretty much all of it, because they're a majority of you all in America, okay? And now you have allowed your bigotry trying to hurt the brown people to go ahead and undermine yourself. Dag nabbit doggone it. Not, I didn't say it, he said it. Keep listening.
Earlier, because I'm from the South, and a lot of Southern white people utilize one, if not several, of these services.
Very much so.
And there's no shame in that. If you are struggling, if you're having a hard time.
Hold on a minute. What you mean ain't no shame in it? It's been shameful for black people. We had welfare mom. It was shameful. It's shameful, sir. Don't backtrack now. It's shameful. Let's not play the game now. It is shameful. If you on welfare for 10, 20 years, that's shameful, sir. Let's keep the same energy for everybody. Just because you trying to, you don't want to get put out the club and everything, it's still shameful. Keep it 100.
Look at the cost of eggs. Look at the cost of things right now. It is not a shock.
The fixation with eggs lately. Are we eating that many eggs in the United? Everybody's talking about eggs at the White House briefing. I mean, is this what's on people's mind? Eggs? Y'all can't find eggs? Is this what you all are telling me? There's no eggs to be found, right? So if I go down to the International House of Pancakes and order some eggs, they're going to say there's no eggs available. I think you're just making a big deal out of nothing. It'd be different if you said, I don't know, we can't find any caviar. The Russians have cut us off. I mean, come on, man. Let's keep it one. What's up with eggs? Everybody using eggs. Is that a talking point?
That people need programs. And it's all about to go away. And by about to go away, I mean 5 o'clock today. Here's the thing. This isn't legal.
Yes, it is.
They passed stuff a while back.
How you gonna tell somebody that just beat 4 cases in 4 states it ain't legal? Do you know this man came back with a bag, tried to pop him in the ear, man? You trying to tell him what's legal? This is OG pimp daddy Donald Trump back in full effect, stomped down, all the way out Trump. He going out with a bang. You kidding me? What you mean it ain't legal? Okay, let me see. I'm gonna see. If it's not legal, we'll see. But we're gonna sign it now. Yeah, he don't give it. It's gonna be legal by the time he get through with it. It's illegal, I guess. Keep listening.
Said you can't just order this yourself. You have to go through Congress. Congress approved these programs.
He don't care. He don't even care what Congress had to approve it. Obviously, he don't care. If the man rounds up every federal agent and say, y'all get out there and send all them brown people home, you think he cares about signing a little document that says stop distributing welfare? Who are you talking to? We are in for a rocket ride. We are all, I want everybody to know, shout out to my man Nuridan and CA007. We are on a rocket ship bound for hell. For some people. Me, I'm gonna pay low taxes and try to get this Rolls Royce. I'll put a picture of it up on my community page. You can see I'm gonna be all right. Some of y'all gonna be all right. Everybody in here who's doing what they doing, you gonna be all right. But there's a lot of people that's not gonna be all right. Nevertheless, I'm gonna enjoy my little rocket ship, put my little helmet on, tighten up, put my little seatbelt, and be in the VIP section of the rocket ship on our way to hell. Okay, but it's gonna be a rough ride, man. Keep listening.
Congress approved these budgets.
Yeah, so,
but in this guy's world, what does legal matter? He's proven that the law doesn't apply to him.
It don't.
And this is going to be a good test.
See that? It does not. The law does not apply to Donald Trump. He don't care about the law. Law, what is that? That isn't laws are meant to change. We're going to challenge the law. The man just said, I'm going to sign a document to take all your birthright citizenship away. That's millions of people. We're going to end anchor baby, the whole thing. Go. We're going to send 14 million Mexicans and Guatemalans and Jamaicans and Haitians and Arab people straight back to the law. The law? Are you kidding me? You think Donald Trump cares about the law? Shout out to Alonzo Dunn. Heck no, you don't care about the law. Cut it out. Stop playing.
Because there's a lot of people saying, like, you can't do that. The law says you can't do that. But as of 5 p.m., it's going to tell us a lot. As of tomorrow morning, when programs get announcements saying you're not getting your funding, it's going to tell us how much the law really matters in this case.
He gonna let you know. I don't care about the law. You better get out there and say, did you know that Donald Trump, there was a lady, she was not an attorney general, she was an inspector general, a little Asian lady. She was an inspector general, and she said, Donald Trump, you do not have the authority to remove me from my job. Let me tell you what Donald Trump did. This was like today or yesterday. Donald Trump had the federal marshals come up to her office in DC and kindly separate her from gravity, gathered all her little stuff up, and put her out. This is what Donald Trump did. Look it up. Look up Donald Trump physically removes, and he didn't, but physically removes Inspector General in one of those cuss you out. So he said, you don't have the authority to fire me. I bet he did. I bet he did. I bet you know different now. Keep playing. Somebody type, keep playing. This is what? The law. Are you kidding me?
And a bunch of poor white Americans who voted for Donald Trump are about to have a much...
That's the way they play, y'all. Poor white Americans. All the poor, where my poor whites at? Shout out to all my poor whites. Y'all want to play the racism game like the rich whites actually care about y'all. They just play, yeah, sure, you'll be like us. Go right over there, Jethro. Oh my God, they're great. Just send them out there. They don't care. They hadn't cared about y'all since they were in Europe. The rich white gentry has always played the poor folk. They get you galvanized on, fight for the country. And, they get you out there killing yourselves and your sons and daughters and whatnot. And I mean, I love my country. But then that stopped working, right? And they said, well, we're white. We need to team up against these dark people around. And they play you. All you poor white folk, you get played all the time. See, one thing about black folks, we don't really care if you're rich. We don't really care if you're a rich black man. We don't care if you're a poor black man. For the most part, we're all equal amongst ourselves. Yeah, you might have a few more money, much money. You have a little more money than we do, but the elite amongst black people do not rule. It's ruled from the center. You understand what I'm saying? I just want you to think about that. Maybe I'll talk about that. But black people are ruled from the center. The rich don't tell us what to do. Matter of fact, if they go too far, we call them a bunch of house N-words and sellouts and stuff like that. We put them in their place. You see what I mean? I mean, even though I'm doing good, I'm not doing great. I ain't where I want to be. I'm just saying. But when I'm saying we, with the people, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to tell y'all is we do things different. And as long as poor white people are looking up to rich white people for leadership and admiration, they're going to keep playing you like a fiddle. Man, you keep dying in wars that you didn't start. You're going to keep losing out and voting for people that don't have your best interests in hand. Like my man, what's the comedian's name? I forget the brother, man. I can't believe one of the comedians said, look, I'm rich. Of course I'm going to vote for Trump. You're poor. Shout out to my man, Calvin. He said she effed around and found out. Yeah, she did. But my man,
much more difficult life, and that is not worth celebrating because a lot of innocent people are going to be hurt along the way as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of innocent people that are already hurting right now. They're innocent, they're hurting, and it's unfortunate. Listen to this right here.
A woman is single and pregnant, and she announces it online. There is no sign of the baby daddy.
You hear that? This is another black woman going off. This is what I want you to understand. Look, I don't know what happened, but sisters, since they start having to be strong and independent and work hard for their own money, they not as, they like, look, they sound a lot like the brothers sometimes, man. They like, shit, I'm tired of paying all these goddamn taxes. I got to go to work. It's less compassion from the sisters. Women in general, but especially black women, they don't have compassion for this. You work hard, you went to school, you got the most, they're trying. They're working hard, they're raising kids, they're doing the jobs that men do. And so now they're developing the mentality of men. I gotta work, you need to work too. It's not a lot of compassion. So I hear a lot of criticism of these folk who are taking advantage of the system coming from black women. Shout out to black women. Shout out to the lovely ladies out here who are voicing their opinions about these freeloaders. I ain't mad at you, baby girl. Keep on. Let's see what she got to say. She's staying with a chest too.
Daddy, you're a grown-ass woman alone in your maternity pictures. You can't even show who the man is.
Yeah, because she don't need a man, baby. She don't need a man. She got the government. She having that baby because all she knows, if she have another baby, she can get some more TANF, a bigger house on Section 8, put them on them papers. That's why she doing it. She ain't going to do it no more. Praise God.
Because most of the time, the man is not even your goddamn man. And then here go everybody in the comments. Congratulations. Congratulations. For what? Why do we have these young girls?
What? Baby showers have replaced graduations and wedding showers. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going on. That's we got some issues in the black culture right now.
And these women get pregnant in these terrible situations, and instead what we do is we celebrate with baby showers and gender reveals. And the reason why they make these baby showers such these huge deals is because there is no wedding. Yep. The baby shower has become the new substitute for a wedding. How are we going to get these girls to understand there's a consequence for their actions? Woman is single and pregnant.
They have not had to face any consequences. See,
wedding.
Again, as I said earlier, shout out to my man Nuridan, FDNY guy 1677. What I've explained, or what I'm saying is they have not had to suffer any consequences because we've had that net, that safety net of welfare, which allows folk to make all these mistakes they want to, have children out of wedlock, not get married, and all the and sit at home and so on and so forth, when they could be working, and they haven't had any consequences. But now they got consequences. Okay, Donald Trump represents consequences. It's over. It's all over. You're going to see it happening. It's winter. It's winter now.
How are we going to get these girls to understand there's a consequence for their actions when we're throwing them a goddamn party? So many women are victims to their own stupidity.
Ooh, that check going to drive.
I cannot stand when a woman is single and pregnant and she announced.
The check is going to drive. That's going to show them. The check, when the check dries up. Okay? That's what's going to show. When the check dries up, that's when they'll know. Praise God. Somebody type hallelujah in the chat room. All right. So, we are in here, man. I appreciate you guys. If you have not hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Now, check this out. This is another little lady. I guess it's a lady. I don't know. I don't know. Can we use
we food stamp?
Still use pronouns now? I don't know. I mean, I'm scared. I don't know. I think we back to normal now. But here's another little white lady, looks like a little white lady, complaining about the situation. Now, again, I didn't put this. This is on Young, Black, and Wealthy. Says entitled white woman whose entire family is on food stamps. Blast Trump voters. Shout out to everybody who voted for Donald Trump. This is what. Look at you. You should feel bad that she's no longer going to be able to receive food stamps for her and her family. But let's hear a story, and y'all be kind.
Family is on disability. We food stamps. My husband's on food stamps. I'm on food stamps for the baby. Though we all have Medicaid. Okay, to wake up this morning and find out that the federally funded programs are going to be stopped, just like all of you Trump voters warned me it would. This is what you all wished for.
This is what we wanted. This is what we asked for, and he is delivering it up to us like a Pizza Hut pizza pan pizza. Let's keep living. He gave it to us. Day one. I've never seen a president move that fast. First of all, this is what I want to understand. How does Donald Trump have this energy? This man is 79 years old. This dude is look, I'm 50, and I've been needing a nap in the afternoon at around 2:00 since I was about 42. You understand? How does this dude have this type of energy? This is what is he eating? What kind of vitamins is he taking? That's what I want to ask. If I ever met, I'm like, dog, what are you doing? How do you 79 years old, you got an 18-year-old son, you still out there banging strippers. What are you doing, Playboy? I need to know. What kind of vitamins are you getting out of the little, when you go to the corner store after you fill up with gas, which pack do you choose? Like, are you getting the beeswax? Are you getting that B+ vitamin? What are we doing? What are we doing? Because I need some of that. I need whatever you got. The man woke up election day, did like 5 speeches, went to a couple of parties, danced with his wife, G-checked a couple of broads, did 4 interviews with the press, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and he's still rolling. He's 79. I'm just saying on some man stuff, right? I need to know what you doing, dog. I mean, where are you getting your bee pollen from? Is this like some Africanized bee pollen? I mean, what are we doing here? Where can we get that? I need to know, but I digress. Let's let her keep talking about her check drying up. Praise God.
Okay, I want to please point my finger at every single Trump voter who is in my comment section of a video that no longer exists. It was food stamp day, and that comment section was so full of people saying how they couldn't wait for this day. Can't wait for them to take.
He said food stamp day. Look, here's what I want you to understand. Baby, don't nobody feel sorry for you. Look, let me do something. Look, let me wipe my glasses off. They don't feel sorry for you. Nobody feels sorry. I know you want us to feel sorry for you. How much you have no compare? This is real America. Real America is hurting. Real America is tired of people over here using our stuff for free. We tired of paying these taxes. We are tired of paying these high taxes out here, man. And here you are, you on Medicaid. That ain't free. It's not free. It costs money for that. And you are over here getting it for free. And you like, I'm in, and it come off like you entitled. Okay. Are you really entitled to something just because you exist and the rest of us got to pay? I don't think so. And that's something you need to think about. It's something you really, truly need to think about. Let's keep listening.
That away. Can't wait for food stamps to go away. You can't wait for my family to starve. Because when we lose our disability.
Why don't you and your husband get a job, baby? Why don't y'all just get some jobs? What's wrong? Somebody type JOB in the chat room. Get your job. You ain't got no jobs you can get nowhere, anywhere. Not a job. Not one job for you. Get your job. Now look, I don't think any of us have a problem with people who are, having a hard time right now, right? You need to get on there. You need that little disability check because you had that accident at work. You know what I'm saying? People understand that. We get that. We get that. What we don't get is folk who are just sitting up, waiting for a check. They've been waiting for a check for like 10 years, man. And you look like you healthy as you push that basket through the aisle. You got them big steaks with the T's in the middle of them. You know what I'm saying? You got the good Doritos. You don't have to get the bootleg cereal. We tired of that. Everybody tired. We tired. Somebody type tired in the chat room. We working hard. And you just chilling. And you got more than we got. This is a capitalist country. This is not a socialist country like that. We're generous, but you took advantage of a generosity and the kindness. Praise God.
When we lose our food stamps and when we lose our medical, we're going to starve. I have a 1-year-old baby.
You still having babies? Now, who fault? Is that our fault that you still having babies? You knew you didn't have a job before you had the baby. And you still having babies. I'm just saying. I'm not being judgy. I'm not trying to be judgy. Okay, somebody type judgy. I learned that from my son. That's not my word. Some of these words you hear me use is because I got a 15-year-old who and I got a 17-year-old. I not hear their words. Okay, I don't normally use these words, but judgy. Judgy is a word. I like that word. Like Riz. I still don't know what that means, and I don't know what bass means. To me, bass was like, the sound that came out of your car when you was bumping down the street. I don't even hear that anymore. I don't know what these words mean, but I think I do. So I try to use them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I have them right, but judgy. Judgy is a word that I know I've heard the root of that. I know the root of that word. I'm not trying to be judgy, but you had a whole new baby. Was that a well thought out plan? You had one of them COVID-19 babies. Y'all was at the house. Got cozy. Y'all was, took the little mask off. Okay. Y'all just had a little judgy little baby. I'm not trying to judge you, but you didn't have a job and you still pushing kids out. Okay, maybe you should rethink that. You know what I'm saying? You and your husband, praise God.
Okay, I have 2 older children who are.
Damn, you hold on a minute. You got 3 kids and y'all don't have no job? Who take them? Our kids. We pay Medicare, we pay for the EBT, we pay for SNAP. Those kids belong to America. Those are our kids. All them kids belong. We better get some Father's Day and Mother's Day cards out here. Okay? Your kids need to be sending us cards every holiday. Okay? Because we paying for them kids. They're our kids. They belong to us. You got 2 older ones and a baby. Come on now. That's why you ain't got no job. You too busy doing something else. Praise Moses.
So on food stamps without the federally assistance. And it's not just my.
Another thing, baby girl, you don't look like you missing no meals. I mean, I'm a little stout myself. You know what I'm saying? Uncle D is a little husky, but I live a little. You don't look like you're missing no meals. I don't think you're starving. But what I'm saying is, and I'm just looking at you, I think you can go about a week and a half without eating. I think if you had to, I'm not saying you should, but if you had to, you go a week or 2. Just drink you some water, get you some nutrients. You understand what I'm saying? But you got 3 kids. And now you out here crying because your food stamps getting dried up. You've been eating good off the government. You understand? Shout out to Repink and shout out to my man Nuridan. You've been eating good. I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to be funny. But winter's here. And what do we do in the winter? We play. We play in the snow, right? We play in the winter's happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sad.
Family, people with disabilities, veterans.
You don't have no disabilities, Pumpkin. It don't look to me like you have. You sit in your car look nice. Okay, poor people are supposed to have the roof in the car. Let me show you something. When you're a poor person, the roof in your car, the little cloth is supposed to come down on your head when you're driving. Like you trying to drive, like you keep moving shit out the way. I'm just saying you got a nice car. I'm just saying it don't look like you hurting to me. And I'm not being judgy. I'm just saying it don't look to me like you hurting it all. You got good teeth too. You got that good dental plan. Come on, now go and get your little job somewhere. Get your little job somewhere. You know what I mean? Or maybe you think you're too good for a job, right?
The elderly. This doesn't just affect me. This affects so many people. Millions and millions and millions of people who are going to lose.
We're going to evict millions and millions and millions of people. And so you can have their jobs. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at how that works. We're putting out, America, okay? Judgy America, all my judgy Americans who are happy that, no, we're not happy. We are not happy that these hardworking illegal immigrants are being evicted. We are not, and we will not laugh. I will spray myself with my buddy water. I spray my cat in the face when he jump up on the counter. It's a little spray, you understand? And we will not laugh, but my judgy Americans, we want them to get a job, don't we? We getting rid of these folk who here taking your jobs. These are the jobs they take. And now you can go get a job. You and your husband, that baby, and them kids, y'all can go out there and pick fruit, baby. You can go pick fruit. Ain't nothing. A good exercise for you out there in that good heat. You work on your tan. Praise God. Hit the number 1 button. What?
We're going to lose their assistance. People who cannot just walk out the door and go get a fucking job.
There's the magic word. A job. A job. Why you can't go get a job? You act like job is a dirty word. Yeah, I mean, look, baby, look. Baby girl, listen to me. You got 3 kids. You obviously just had one, so you can do something. Okay, you physically fit enough to push a baby out. That's a hard job. I've seen it happen in real life. It's very excruciating when you look at it. Whew, it's like, whoo, my God, that's what the thing do to that. Damn, big old head. Never mind. But you can do something. I mean, having a child is labor. Okay, so instead of having a child, instead of doing labor and having a child, why don't you do some labor and have a job? You see what I'm saying? Labor Giving babies to the world, labor, giving services to the world. Get a job. You can do it. I believe in you. Clean bathrooms. Look here, you can clean some bathrooms. You can do a lot. You can do a lot. I believe in you. Somebody type, we believe in you. Hit the number one button.
I don't think any of you understand what you have done by voting for Trump, and
Yes,
I will
we
never
do.
fucking forgive you.
We do understand what we did. We said send all of these illegal immigrants home, starting with them Venezuelans. Then let's kill this WIC, DEI, and get rid of all that. We knew exactly what we were doing. What you mean we didn't know? We knew just what we were doing, ma'am. And you know what? If you don't forgive us, so what? We don't care if you don't forgive us. Okay? You're just gonna have to put your big girl shoes on and get on out there and do what you have to do, mom. Praise God. Crying on the internet. You better cut it out. Forget her. You're not gonna make me feel guilty. We've been telling you the winter's coming for a long time, and I'm sure it's somebody around there that told you need to get you a job. Let's listen to this fella right here.
Angel Adams blames the system for her problems.
Look. I want y'all to listen to this, okay? I want you to listen. How many kids? Listen to what this lady is. Her name is, listen. This is where we've gone. This is our fault. We shouldn't have let this go this
37-year-old Angel Adams blames
37-year-old Angel Adams, okay?
Blames the system for her problems.
He blames the system for her problems, okay?
System of social service agencies trying to help her.
The system is her. The system is at fault. The same system trying to help her. Praise God.
Adams has 15 children.
What? She have how many? Did she say 3? How many kids did she? Did y'all hear that? Huh?
Adams has 15 children.
She how many? She's 37 with 15 kids. Let me listen again.
Adams has 15 children, 12 who are now living with her in this.
Got 12 kids living with you. Got 15. So you got grown kids. You got grown kids who don't live with you. And you got 12 more. What you been doing? Who hitting that? Who hit that after 5? Which one of you dirty, nasty, filthy men recognize that woman had 5 children and still smashed? Who did that? I want you to raise your hand right now. If you was the one that smashed the 5-time baby mama and then gave her 10 more children, I need to know. Your little tallywhack is gonna fall off. You don't know where she been. And you hit that. Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of yourself? And I know I know what you do. You thought you was gonna slide up in there at night where all them kids sleep. And them kids ain't sleep. That's what where you gonna go? You need a school bus to go anywhere. Okay? Who hit that? That's what I want. I want the internet to do its job. I want you to find me all 12 of them dudes. And who hit it 3 times? Which one of y'all was the one that hit it 3 times, okay, and thought, oh my God, this is a delicacy. Oh my God, let me go on up in here. Who thought that was a good idea? What were you thinking? 5? Who hit it after 10? She got 10 kids and you hit? Bro, you can't breathe on her. You breathe on her, she gonna have a baby. Some women look too much fertility. You act like we got a goddamn ranch and we need some extra ranch hands. We got a farm and we need all these kids out here. What's wrong with you? Nasty. And you hit it raw. You hit it raw too. She got 15 and somebody's still hitting it. She 37. Somebody still smashed. Somebody is still taking that chance. Somebody said, oh, for Myrtle. Cut it out. You, Alonzo Dunn, you get the spray. You kidding me? Don't you say that. How dare you, old fertile Myrtle? How dare you lay? Are you? I hate all of y'all. I hate all of
A small motel room.
Somebody needs to pay.
Somebody need to pay.
And mine and Gary, all our
Who need to pay? Somebody need to pay. We got to pay for them kids. Come on, girl. Well, see, this wouldn't have been a problem if y'all had stopped hitting that after 2 or 3. She could have bounced back. Them kids would have been grown, and she'd have been on the internet complaining how she can't find a man. Oh, old fertile murder. Y'all are terrible.
somebody needs to be held accountable.
You need to be. See what I'm saying? This is the attitude that we're dealing with. This is entitlement right here. This is entitlement. Somebody type entitlement in the chat room. This is the problem. This is why Americans are like, nah, we done. We done. We're loving, wonderful people most of the time, but we are all the way done. Look, man. I want to old fertile myrtle. Y'all are ugly, man. You all are so ugly. I don't even know what to say. But anyway, I want to give a big shout out to everybody. Look here. Look, if you still with me, let's have a serious conversation. Somebody type old fertile myrtle. Some of y'all know some old fertile myrtles. Some of y'all mamas with some old fertile myrtles too. You know mama had all them kids. And she was an old fertile myrtle and a loosey-goosey too. That's why you don't know who your daddy is. At least you don't know who your other brother daddy is or your other sister daddy is. You tell them I'm telling the truth. But anyway. Old fertile myrtle. Oh God. Oh my goodness, man. Shout out to all y'all. Y'all are crazy. But anyway, fam. So again, what we talking about today? We basically winter is here, winter is coming. We were talking about that for many years, and now it's upon us. You see what I mean? And a lot of people got caught up in their own bigotry. There's some black people out there that voted for Donald Trump and the Republican Party, and I know what they was gonna do. They've been doing it since I can remember it, since Ronald Reagan. You see what I'm saying? But I'm in a different situation now, financially, educationally, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people who don't have a foundation, who don't have that level of support are going to suffer. So, you know, as I said, we've witnessed significant changes in the federal funding policies that since Donald Trump was elected, and it has sparked amongst many widespread concern and uncertainty. Okay. On it specifically, we want to talk about it. It was on January 27, 2025. Shout out to my man, Torian Jones. The Office of Management and Budget issued a directive to pause all federal grants and loans. You can't drop that baby off no more. Okay. The federal, see, Congress might control the purse strings, but Donald Trump and his agencies control the dispensation of the money. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, you gave the bank gave the money to your institution, your school, but you can't get that loan check until your school give it to you. You see what I mean? Now we're gonna hold up. That's what you see happening right now. And so the immediate effects are being felt in programs like Medicaid, Head Start, where these reimbursements become inaccessible. So they got to shut down. And this causing alarm even amongst health providers and educators. They're not getting paid. They're not going to do it for free. You know, and then the thing is, nobody knows what's going on. So there's ambiguity surrounding which programs are affected, and it's leading to widespread concern at universities, states, and nonprofit organizations that rely on this federal assistance. And this federal assistance serves under I'm saying poor communities. Okay, and so you know, there was a federal judge. They're trying. There was a federal judge that temporarily blocked the funding freeze. But how do you force Donald Trump to order? Okay, so here's what I want you to understand. How do you force Donald Trump to order the departments that he governs to send out the money? How does a federal judge? We got 3 branches of government. You got judicial, legislative, and executive. All of the executives Department of Education, Department of Defense, you name it, Department of Energy, Secretary of Interior, Department of Interior, all of that falls under Donald Trump's purview. And if he says, no, we're not sending out any checks, there won't be any checks been sent out. You think those senators are going to sit down and make sure that 10 million checks go out? Nope, not going to happen. Okay? So I don't see how this is going to win, but nevertheless, this has ignited a broader debate about the role of the federal assistance in our society. Okay, and many people advocate for, reduce government intervention, right? And they want personal responsibility. And so this is what it looks like. Okay, it means you are personally responsible for paying your own way. It means you're personally responsible for paying your own bills. So that means no more SNAP, no more Medicaid, no more Section 8. All right. It means no more housing assistance. And that really hurts vulnerable populations, including children and elderly and individuals with disabilities. You're literally going to see people homeless now. And that's why I tell the brothers, are you prepared to step over the bodies? You're literally going to see an uptick in homeless people. And I tell black men all the time, y'all are too compassionate. But these brothers are changing. And I don't think that they're going to let their nephew and niece, and as much as you might not like your sister with all her kids, you're probably not going to let her sleep out in the cold, if for nothing else because of your nephews. And some of you all have parents, especially your mothers. They made poor decisions in the 1970s and 80s. And now they're reaching up to that elder age. Some of them are 65, 70, the baby boomers, and they made really poor decisions, a lot of divorces. And, some of you guys are literally going to have to say, Mom, I can't, or Dad, I can't do it. You can't come live here with me and my family, And so that's what I mean when I say you have to step over the proverbial bodies. But, and now since y'all done sent all the Mexicans home, ain't going to be nobody, no Mexicans, no Jamaicans. Who going to watch them old people in the old folks home? You ain't going to have nobody there to slap them old folks across the head in the morning when they don't want to change their diaper. Now you got to watch it. Huh? Because y'all know that's what them immigrants do. They be slapping them old folk upside the head and shaking them like they babies. Boy, I tell you. But anyway, then that's something you're racist your whole life, and you end up getting a Jamaican healthcare worker in an old folks home, and you can't be. You've been a stone cold bigot your whole life, and now you got this big black shut up butt. Shut your mouth. Just slapping you across your mouth, and you can't even speak. You got the Klan hood right there at the house in the drawer, and you got this black. Yeah, that's payback. That's karma for your butt. And not even a black American. You got a foreigner, black person, just slapping you up, man, whooping up on you. But anyway, this is prompting a necessary conversation. And I think the first thing we need to understand, where did this whole welfare, affirmative action, and DEI, where did all this come from? Now, I don't want to confuse welfare with affirmative action / DEI, but I want to explain to you where it came from, okay? So and it's essential to understand the purpose of the welfare programs and how they shape the fabric of American society. See, welfare was never intended to be a permanent handout. It was only designed to be a safety net. Somebody type safety net in the chat room. Somebody type safety net, not permanent handout, okay? There's a difference. And in a system, it was meant to protect people and families who had fallen on hard times due to circumstances beyond their control, whether it be economic downturns, or job losses, or disability, or single parent households struggling to provide for the kids. Welfare was created to offer a temporary relief and ensure that Americans don't go hungry or homeless. Now, see, you got to understand it was a different culture. We had a working culture back then. People believed in work. You had to work. You had to do something. You couldn't sit in the house. Some people didn't have toilets. You had agrarian. If you didn't work, you literally didn't eat, right? So we expected people to try to get off this welfare as soon as possible, get married. Marriage was a thing. If a woman didn't have a child, she stayed on welfare long enough, and some man would come marry her because women died so young. People didn't live as long. Remember up until recently, I'm going to say recently, but up until maybe the industrial age, people lived to be about 45 or 50. And if you live to be 60 or 70 years old, like, ooh, you old. Look at some of them old people. Look how they looked in the face, man. You know what I mean? Look, I'm 50, right? But if I was 50, 150 years ago, man, I'd be looking horrible, okay? But if I jump back in time, they'd think I was 30 compared to some of the women look like some hard-faced dudes back in the day. But people live longer now, okay? People don't have to work as hard, right? So it's easier to manipulate these systems. Programs like SNAP, Medicaid, Section 8, housing, they exist because we as a nation believe that no child should have to go to bed hungry and no family should be forced to be on the streets due to financial hardship. That's one of our beliefs. That's one of our core beliefs as Americans. It's not law, but that's something we believe. Okay? We don't believe that families are merely expenditures. Now, if you go down to Brazil, you will see children running around the Copacabana trying to steal your wallet and them flip-flops. I ain't never seen a bunch of kids run that damn fast as a flip. They'll steal your wallet, your cell phone. They have nowhere to go. That's not something that we allow in America. Used to be like that when all the immigrants came in from Europe and New York. It was a horrible place to be. It was violence. Look up to this movie called The Gangs of New York. That was bad. You know what I mean? But we don't see them as expenditures, and we see them as investments in the well-being and dignity of our citizens. Shout out to my man Alonzo Dunn. And when people have access to food and shelter and healthcare, they have a greater chance of regaining stability and becoming productive members of society. Yet today, these programs are being villainized because they breed dependency. And we know that, okay? Dependency rather than opportunity. And, the hardest working people in our country have relied on these programs at some point in their lives. Most people have, not most people, but a lot of people have. If you didn't get a free welfare check, you got a free student loan, okay? Some people say that a lot of these folks, and I don't think the majority of welfare recipients are just lazy and unwilling to work, okay? They just might not be working for the jobs that they qualify for. And that seems to be the problem. See, that lady that we saw earlier, I can't find a job. No, you probably just can't find a job that you want. Okay, now let's shout out to my man Be Tall, Young, Attractive. This is good education. Now let's slide into welfare. All right, there are other policies, right, that play a critical role. We try to create a fair society. All right, things are not fair. People are not equal. That's just it. People are never going to be equal. You can try to level the playing field a little bit, but affirmative action and diversity, equity, inclusion, what is that? Well, it was established, like many of these other things, like the 14th Amendment, to correct historical injustices against Black people. Somebody type Black people. I want all the white people in my chat room to type that was for Black people. Okay? Affirmative action was for Black people. I want you to understand that. That's what it was for. It was designed to correct historical injustices by providing opportunities for Black people who for generations were systematically excluded from education and employment. Those were the Black people, okay? It wasn't for immigrants. It wasn't for white women per se, all right? It was for Black people, all right? The plan was, if we let some of these Black people in our elite schools by lowering the standards a little bit, over generations, that person, they may not be at the highest height of one of our most elite whose parents went to these colleges and grandparents went to these colleges, but it'll get them on a level. And then they, having gone to our elite colleges like Harvard and Yale and Brown and all of those, then their children who will be raised by these people will then be a step above where the parent was. And then those children below them will then be a step above of where the grandparents were and the parents were. So again, that's affirmative action. It was for Black people who weren't allowed to read, who were fresh out of slavery. Let's put them in some of our elite colleges because the environment that they operate in is going to have a lot to do with their success. They recognize that, okay? The environment. So now what happens? Let's take, for instance, somebody came in and said, hey, let's move these Black people out the way. So the Black people who were supposed to be uplifted by going to these elite colleges and having these good jobs because of affirmative action never got a chance to, because somebody flew, walked, and took a boat over here and elbowed Black people out the way. Who was affirmative action set up for? Somebody type Black people in the chat room. Somebody type Black people. When I say who affirmative action was set up for, y'all type Black people. Who was affirmative action set up for? Black people. All right. So something happened and some other people decided we're just going to elbow these folks out the way and we're going to take advantage of the system. All right. So instead of it leveling the playing field, because if it was only Black people who reaped the benefit of affirmative action for the past 60 years, we got jobs, we got education, we got some of these. Oh man, we'll be rolling. We'll be rich. We'll be real rich, not just hood rich, not pretend rich. We'll be rich. Okay. But somebody came along and elbowed us out the way. Now, I don't know who it is. We might learn in this broadcast, but it was meant to level the playing field after decades, and I do say centuries, of discrimination in hiring and college admissions and leadership's role, which left our community, the Black community, with fewer opportunities to advance. So affirmative action was an attempt to address disparities to ensure that the talent and hard work, and not because you were a white person or whatever, a white man specifically, you were given a chance to give the ones of us who were the best of the best an opportunity. That's what it was for. That's what it was for, family. That just it. Same thing, DEI, okay? It emerged not as necessarily a law, but it was designed to kind of foster, kind of coerce these major corporations and schools. Hey, go ahead and get your DEI program at that office, at that school, or that institution, and try to, bring some folk in who, aren't necessarily rich white men, or legacy white women or whatever. Give them a little help. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, But so it's not just a buzzword. It was meant to try to ensure that everyone has the resources they need to thrive, rather than just assuming that everyone starts from the same place, because we don't. All right. Some of you all have parents, 2 parents, some don't. Some of you all have parents who are white collar. Some of you have parents who barely can keep a job. Some of you have blue collar parents. Some of you grew up wealthy. Some of you grew up dirt poor. All right. But we as Americans want to give all Americans, and I say Americans, not the whole world, Americans, right? Because I'm going to tell you something about Black and white people, especially. And the Latinos are coming along. Once you become an American and you pay these bills, you don't necessarily want everybody to be American, especially if they do it the wrong way. It's a club. Shout out to all the Americans out here. It's a club. It literally is a club. We'll fight amongst each other. Black folk, white folk, we fight all the time. But at the end of the day, if somebody else comes, we're going to fight them. You see? You're going to get fought. Now, white people will fight you a lot harder than the Black people. The Black people like, yeah, man, he whooping your butt, man. You need to do what I do, man. Just chill. White people just whoop up on you. Black people come to you, look, man, you need to do better. Put your hands up when he throw that right hook, and then, parry, get under it. Black, that's us. That's us here in America. When immigrants come to this country, whether they be Asian, Arab, Latino, we like, look, man, you good. Come over here and chill with me. That's how he is. That's how they are. They do that. They'll have a white riot and burn up all your stuff. Just come over here, chill with us. We'll let you set up a little shop and chill. So Black people and white people have an understanding in this country, and that's something that a lot of other folk don't know. So you got a lot of people who come to this country and practice that anti-Black hate or racism, but they don't remember. They don't understand that Black people have a place in this country, this nation. We have a spot. It's carved out. We're good. We're going to be here. You see what I mean? We're going to be here when you're gone. We're going to be here. We're never going to be the majority of the people. We're going to have a little power. We got a little fight to us. We got a little spit if we have to. But for the most part, we're going to be here. For the most part, it's always a black and white conversation. And that's why when you hear people describe, you say black and white, you know, in America, everybody else is just kind of a spectator. You know, you literally feel like, and most Americans literally feel like everybody else can go home. I know that's maybe xenophobic to say, but that's the attitude, and you should just know. All right, now, you know, we are, so we kind of understand that, right? That's where affirmative action, DEI, all these programs, whether we talk about welfare, affirmative action, or DEI, they're designed to kind of help you up a little bit, right? To help create correct past issues of discrimination. And that's one of our values. We think that those programs were necessary. Now, we need to be honest, okay? We need to have a no-nonsense conversation about welfare and what it's done to the Black community, all right? And then apparently it's done some stuff to the white community, because you got white women on the internet claiming that they're not going to be able to survive if they don't get their government check. You see what I mean? Like, oh, I can't work. I can have kids, but I can't work. I got three. I thought being a mother was the hardest job on earth. Hold on, let's pause. Ma'am, if being a mom is the hardest job on earth and you have 3 children, which means you're a mom 3 times over, surely you can go down there to the Piggly Wiggly and stock some shelves. I'm just saying. I'm just get on down there to the Piggly Wiggly and put in your application. All right, your high school boyfriend, the boy likes you. He's the manager now. Get on down there and put in the application, because being a mom is the hardest job. So if you can be a mom, surely you can put them tomatoes, them canned tomatoes and olives back on the shelf from 2 to 6, 3 days a week starting, all right, until they can get you in full time. I'm just saying, all right? I'm just pointing that out. Now, we need to stop sugarcoating the issue and recognize that while welfare was meant to be a safety net, it has turned into a trap. And it's one that has devastated the Black community for generations. I think we talk about that more than anything, you see. And the welfare system, as it currently exists, it's done more to destroy the Black family than nearly any other policy in modern history, other than what we're looking at with the criminal injustice system.
United States historically have been severely handicapped by the party that they have been convinced to vote for over and over and over again. They've been made promises to, they've been lied to, they've been told that their schools were going to get money, that they were going to get economic impact in their neighborhoods, and it never happens, because the people that convince them to vote for them are the most conniving, snaky, dirtiest politicians in the world, and they steal the money, and then they leave the Black communities to flounder. That's been going on for 60, 70 years. That should be fixed before we go over to some place in some other part of the world and try to help those people. Like, those are American citizens that need to be fucking handled and treated just like every other American citizen. If I was a Black person in America, in a Black neighborhood, a Black urban area that's been run down, and I see them sending hundreds of billions of dollars to other places like Israel and
that's how we feel.
Ukraine, and wherever else. What the
That's how we feel.
Look at my neighborhood. Right. Look at my community.
I mean, and largely that's how Black Americans feel. Like, you sending all that money over there. This is why tax dollars, and especially the wealthier we become, because the wealthier you become in America, the more money you pay. I think I explained that earlier. You got to pay for that Benz. You got to, not only do you have to pay the house note, but you got to pay the taxes on the house note. You see what I mean? And so a lot of Black Americans, even when it comes to other Black Americans, we don't like what they're doing. Okay. Now, the funny thing is, money is often used to keep people down. You give them a little bit here and there, dole it out a little bit, and you keep them on the string, they'll keep on coming back. And we've seen this play out, not just in the United States, but all over the world. Some of the money that our country gives to these foreign countries, especially what's called foreign aid, somebody type foreign aid in the chat room. The foreign aid that they give out is often used as a string. Basically, you keep them on the string. You see what I mean? And this former president of an African country brought it up in the conversation.
Crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money.
Now, this is a former president of Kenya, and he's talking about how when Donald Trump said we Americans weren't giving any more money to the other countries, right? He said, listen to how he's talking to his countrymen.
Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country.
Why are you crying? It's not your country. Why are you crying?
He has no reason to give you anything.
Yeah.
I mean.
So basically, people giving you free money treats you like a crutch. You see, it's like somebody giving you a fish. I don't teach a man to fish. I'm gonna give him a fish every day. What that means, he got to come back to me every day. I got him under my thumb. He owes me a favor, and if he wants to keep it going, yeah, I got to keep. So you know,
you don't pay taxes in America.
Basically, America has many of its own people and many countries on welfare, and it's a trap because all we have to do is keep printing the money. The money has to come back to us anyway, and we can control with people, not just with military force, but with money. All right. We keep them down. Less competition. If I give you $200-300 a month, I just take some money from the hardworking people, give you a little money over here for some, you'll never protest. You better go sit home. You're gonna get your SNAP benefits took.
He's appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bana. This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help ourselves?
What are we going
Instead
to do?
of crying.
Instead of crying.
Tujiulize, what are we going to do? Haya ametoa hiyo pesa, sasa tutafanya namna gani jameni? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
To support ourselves.
Support ourselves.
Because
support ourselves. You hear him saying, "Our brother, we get a job." Okay.
Nobody is going to continue holding out a hand there to give you.
Well, Biden would have continued holding out a hand because that's the way they control you. That's how they was able to force the rainbow rights on Africa. You see what I'm saying? You want this money, you're going to have to let the men do what the men do in the prison penitentiary to each other and let them marry. But you can't do it if you don't have any control over them. See, money is control.
It is time.
It is time
for us to use our resources for the right things. We are the ones who are using them for the wrong things.
Okay. Hey, it's time for you on welfare to get a job. You need a job, okay? And specifically, shout out to that brother, man. But again, like I said, it's a trap. So it doesn't just play out nationally, it plays out internationally too. We do the same thing. But what I want to talk about is how this has devastated Black families for generations. And we could start with the brutal truth about the welfare system and as it currently exists. It's done more to destroy brothers, the family. It's literally destroyed us. It was sold as a lifeline for struggling communities, but in reality, it created a cycle of dependency. And because they had a policy that said no man in the house, it created fatherlessness and economic stagnation that Black America still hasn't recovered from. How can we as Black, didn't y'all hear me earlier when I said Black people are all pooled together and we are run from the center, right? So in the center, you got people who are doctors and lawyers, but you also have people who are on welfare, and they have just as much to say as the people who are wealthy and successful, who could otherwise teach you how to get out of that struggle that you're in. You see? But who do you listen to if everybody's voice is treated the same? See, we don't necessarily ostracize other Black people who don't have as much money. Now, if you're a crook and a criminal, we're going to look at you with a side eye, but you get something to say too at the table. And that's unfortunate. We don't necessarily practice hypergamy as a society. And when I say hypergamy, I mean we don't let the rich and ruling class lead. Matter of fact, we call them house N-words and boule and all sorts of stuff. You see what I mean? And so we kind of ostracize them. So who runs the center? The majority of the people in the center. And not everybody's rich. And then you have, even if you're successful, Black Americans make you identify with the urban center or the ghetto center or the poor rural center. Okay, but so what happens? We stuck in economic stagnation because the people who could teach you how to get out of it don't necessarily have a voice. And how did that happen? It happened because you presented folk with a choice. You can go ahead and get on this welfare, get rid of that daddy, And you just sit up on this check, get this check on the 1st and 15th. Somebody type 1st and 15th in the chat room. But the thing about it is, before the expansion of welfare in the 1960s, Black families were stronger and marriage rates were higher and fatherlessness was low. Even under the worst conditions at the height of Jim Crow and segregation and systematic racism, we had intact families. I'm talking about the 1950s when they still had Black and colored water faucets. You see, when Black folks still had to go through the back door. Even in the 1950s, 80% of Black children were raised in a 2-parent home, right? And today that number is plummeted to like 25%. And it's not a coincidence. It's a result of a system that financially rewards broken families. It incentivizes women to go have children by themselves. How do you get a woman who has 15 kids by 12 different men? And on top of that, the welfare system, it penalizes traditional 2-parent households because it doesn't reward them. And when welfare programs like aid to families with dependent children, when that was expanded, the government literally paid Black women to not have a man in the house. And if a woman was married or living with the father of her children, she risked losing benefits like her housing. They're going to put you out. If you let daddy come home, you're going to get put out. You're going to lose your food stamps. You lose your cash aid. And what this did was it created a perverse incentive where fathers were pushed out of the home in exchange for government dependency. And what happens when fathers are absent, what do you think happened to them kids? Them kids running wild. Daddy ain't in the house, they're going to be cutting up. And so if they're cutting up as a child, when they hit the street, they're going to commit crime and crime goes up. There's no structure, there's no discipline. So the drug abuse skyrockets, prostitution skyrockets, the neighborhoods go to crap. Boys grow up without discipline. They grow up without emotional control because they grow up without guidance. And then, at some point they grow up, they don't have any hope. And they turn to the streets to look for the identity. They looking for manhood. And so you get people who shouldn't be teaching a child a darn thing, teaching them what being a man is. What's the result? Generations of broken families, skyrocketing incarceration rates, high rates, entire communities left in poverty. Welfare did not help us. It enslaved us. Black families weren't uplifted by welfare. We were enslaved by it. The government became a provider, the protector, and the father figure, and it left millions trapped in a system where hard work wasn't rewarded and dependency was. Why would a girl get up and go to school? I'm talking about 1950s, 60s, and 70s. These young girls ain't going for it now. There's some women out there popping out babies, but it's not teen pregnancy. That's not an issue. You haven't heard them talk about that in years. White girls aren't doing it and Black girls aren't doing it. They're out there getting an education. You see what I'm saying? But back in the day, in the 1960s and 70s, the question was, do I want a job or do I want to sit up like my older sister and my cousin and get $1,000 a month for pushing out a baby and staying home? They get to stay home and watch the stories. But the Latinos watch the favelas, the novelas, and you got to go to work. You over there flipping fries at McDonald's, and they get the chance to sit up home. A woman is looking at that like, shit, all I got to do is pop out a baby by Fred, and I can sit up and collect checks. And then, of course, misery loves company. Shout out to Hideo Maximus. Thank you for that. They're going to like, girl, you stupid. You out there getting a job. Just have a baby. Just have a baby, girl. Just have a baby. They're going to give you $425 a month. We can share our Section 8. Girl, you can be up in here. Don't even worry about it. You're going to get $800. Shoot, girl, you'll make more money making $800 at home than you do working at McDonald's. That's what happened. And so a lot of girls were incentivized to be non-productive in that, not out there moving and shaking and making money and making progress. Instead, laying at home, having babies. So instead of investing their time in education and entrepreneurship and economic mobility, the welfare system taught Black folk, generations of Black folk, to rely on the government handouts instead of self-reliance, which is what we had in the 1950s and before coming out of slavery. We knew we had to rely on ourselves. You gonna go back to the plantation and ask massa for what? What you gonna ask him for? All they're gonna do is turn you into a sharecropper and hold you there for another 10 years. That's all. You knew you had to rely on yourself. And see, the welfare system, it replaced ambition with complacency and resilience with entitlement. It created a mindset of victimhood where too many believed that the only way out of poverty was to wait for the government to come save them. And when reality is the government is the very thing keeping them down. I mean, look at the cities that have the highest crime rate. What do they have in common? They have generations of welfare dependency in common, whether we're talking about Los Angeles, Oakland, Detroit, Philadelphia, Baltimore. Shout out to B More. You. How do y'all say that? You. I'm trying to work on that Baltimore accent. Yeah. All of the boroughs in Brooklyn, right? Not Brooklyn so much anymore. The Bronx. Welfare dependency. Look at, I bet Chicago, welfare dependency. Because see, when fathers disappear from the home, young men seek role models in what they perceive to be tough guys or gangsters, gangs. That's camaraderie, is manhood, right? And when the community relies on government checks instead of jobs, economic collapse is inevitable. Welfare has bred poverty, fatherlessness, and crime, all while politicians pat themselves on the back for helping the poor. That's how dirty the Democrats have done black people. You think it's an accident that the cities with the highest crime rates and highest incarceration rates and the highest high school dropout rates are the same cities that have been on welfare for generations? Of course not. Welfare didn't fix poverty, it institutionalized it. There was a time when Black America was economically self-sufficient. We had our own. Despite racism and segregation. Black businesses thrived off Black dollars. Black families stayed together. Black communities built wealth. But once welfare expanded, the government effectively said, you don't need to build wealth. You don't need strong families. You don't need fathers. We'll take care of you. And so instead of having your Thurgood Marshalls, we got, I don't know, Umar Johnson, right? I mean, I'm just saying. Look at all the brilliant people that we had, all the PhDs. How is it that, they get a Scheherazade Ali and we get a Sexy Red? I want you to think about that. Huh? They got Dr. John Heinrich Clark and we got Kanye West. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking these artists and entertainers, but these people were degreed, had PhDs, even the caliber of music, okay? I mean, even the caliber, it was just so different. The quality and caliber of each individual Black person was just so different. What happened? Black economic growth slowed, Black business ownership plummeted, entire neighborhoods fell apart. Welfare didn't just take away fathers, it took away ambition, ownership, and pride. Now, it's time to stop pretending that welfare was designed to help Black people. It was not. Just like it's not designed to help white people. Has it helped those white people that you saw screaming and having 3 babies and can't afford to take care of them? No. It hadn't helped those African countries either. It definitely hadn't helped those South American Central countries, giving people free money. Sounds good, right? It was designed to control not just individuals, but whole nations. It works. Welfare dependence keeps Black people voting for politicians who promise more handouts while never actually solving the root problems of poverty. It keeps entire communities locked in a cycle of generational dependence where the only thing passed down is a government check. Not wealth, not skills, not opportunity, not generational wealth, just a government check. And the worst part is you still have Black people defending it right now. Now, I don't care what your politics are. I tell you to vote your interest. Vote your interest, vote your interest, vote your interest. But if you're voting Democrat and you're still defending this system, right? You're fighting to keep this very system that is holding black people down. You're fighting for that? Huh? You protesting against cuts to welfare as if our survival depends on it, when in reality, our survival depends on escaping it. I want you to think about this. I want you to look, this is going to hurt some feelings. I want you to, let's dig deep. Are y'all with me? If you're with me, hit the number 1 button. If you're with me, it's a lot of people out there. You want strong families? The first step is breaking welfare dependency and restoring black families, putting black people together. I mean, look, man, let's just keep it 100. Fathers matter. And men need to take responsibility, and women need to stop accepting government checks as a replacement for a husband and a father that you don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with him. Shout out to my man K-Don. He said President Crotch Grabber is doing everything right. Yeah, you can't, you might not like it. Donald Trump is like that old coach that made you better and it was painful. He had you run 50 gases up and down the basketball court after practice was over, and then you ain't like it. But then when you got about halfway through the season, you like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm not tired. You love it. You see, so after this is over with, this is us running gases. He has got America running 50-yard wind sprints after practice is over. Okay, fully padded up with cleats and helmets on when you hot and tired and sweaty, ready to go in the locker room. This is what President Trump has us on. This man has us on double time, fully loaded, headed back to the barracks. This is him. Okay, this is where he's at right now. We need to get back to owning businesses and buying property and building wealth. The government isn't going to save us, but economic independence will. Look, this is going to force what's going on right now. I'm talking to my black people right now, all my blacks. Somebody type blacks in the chat room, all my blacks. This is going to force us back together. Why? Ain't going to be no option. We living in a hostile, racially charged environment. Okay, you got people who otherwise would be bigoted. They are emboldened right now. Okay, they're emboldened. This is winter. Ladies, you better find a man. You better find a man if you got one. You better try to hold on to him. Okay, I'm just saying. So it's going to force us back together. It is. I mean, you have no other choice. The environment just changed overnight. Welfare's dried up. Those little easy jobs at the federal government. Donald Trump sent an email to 2 million federal employees and said, look, let me tell you something. You can quit now and take this buyout, and the buyout will pay you up for the next 8 months, which ends in September, which is the last quarter of this year. Or you can risk your chance coming on back here. We're going to find a way to fire you anyway. What you want to do? All you got to do, if you want to retire and get this plan, type reply. So most of those jobs are not filled up with men, and it's excluding military and folk like that. But the bottom line is it's going to be a lot of women out of work. Okay, shout out to my man, Big Boss Real Talk. It's going to be a lot of women out of work. And you're not going to be able to fall back on welfare. You're not going to be able to, because that check is dried up. What are your options? Either you're going to be homeless or you're going to go back to Craig. Hey, Craig. Somebody type, hey, big head in the chat room. Somebody type, hey, big head in the chat room. Somebody type, hey, big head in the chat room. A lot of you ladies are going to be calling your ex-husbands. You're going to be calling your ex. You better hope he ain't on that vacation. All right, the passport bros had to chill for a minute. All the flights was taken. Okay, you got to give them a chance to get settled down there. You understand? But see, now instead of waiting for handouts, you're gonna have to push for better education, technical training, trade skills, and you're gonna actually have to. The stuff that's gonna actually lead to jobs and economic mobility. We're gonna look, black folks. Look, either you're gonna be a victim or a victor. You're going to either be a victim or a victor. Okay? You're going to have to reject this victimhood mentality so you can be a victor. Welfare has conditioned too many of us to believe that poverty is permanent and that success is impossible and that the system is always against you. You see? No matter what you do, it's against the system set me up. No, you lost your job because you didn't go to work, because you was up last night drinking that brown on Sunday night having a Sunday fun day, and you was too hungover, and this is your 5th time being late in 3 months. That's why you lost your job, okay? Not because of the system. You was doing good, but then you lost your job because you was out there driving your FedEx truck, smoking weed. That's why, okay? You got your sister's pee, and they said, sir, this is a pregnant woman's pee. This can't be your pee, and you lost your job because of that, sir. Okay, but nevertheless, that victim mindset is that's our real enemy. We are our own worst enemy. Racism is like bad weather. It's not going to change. You just got to put your umbrella up. It's snowing outside. It's racism outside. Damn, let me put my snow coat on. You got to deal with it. It's not going anywhere. You see, people make money in a slow economy, so it's not the slow economy, and it's not society. Society is a lot easier to deal with now than it was 100 years ago. People had horses. It was poop all on the ground. A lot of people slept in the barns and stuff. Come on, man. We need to wake up. Welfare has crippled Black America. It's not saved it. The government should never have been seen as an answer for our struggles. Instead of making us stronger, it made us weaker. Instead of lifting us up, it held us down. And the only way forward is to reject the system that has failed us and take back control of our destiny. You see, we need strong families, economic dependence, and self-reliance. So I'm not worried about this racism. You understand me? Now, here's the cold part about it. I want you to understand, okay? If you didn't know by now, I think you should know. One of the greatest scams in modern America is the way diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI policies, have been marketed as primarily benefiting Black people, when in reality, the biggest winners have been white women. Okay? But here's a quick number. Only 4% of these DEI positions are filled by Black people. The vast majority goes to white people. But because of this misinformation and bigotry and resentment, there has been a national push to dismantle DEI under the false belief that it's only helping Black people or brown people. And what many people fail to realize is that by attacking these policies, they actually are hurting themselves. Did you see them crying white women on the internet over there? Hey, you don't take my check from me. You see that? It's not hurting us. This is shocking to some people. But see, when these DEI initiatives were created, they weren't meant to open doors. Or should I say, who did I say they were for? They were what? They were for who? Black people. They might have been for some women and some Latinos and Native Americans and minorities, but white women, that's who benefits from it. See, affirmative action, DEI, all these policies have overwhelmingly helped white women more than any other group. And that's been since the 1970s. White women have been have made the largest gains in hiring and college admission. Who else? Promotions under affirmative act. White women. So why are we crying over what white women are doing? You see what I mean? Why are we as Black people concerned about a fight that exists between white men and white women? This is not our fight. I mean, white women have dominated diversity hire in corporate America. This is not a Black people's fight. White women have outpaced Black men and Black women and received government contracts and set-asides set for minority. I just want you to, I know some white people out there listening to it. Y'all the ones that benefited from this. White women are overrepresented in management positions in companies that claim to focus on DEI. The vast majority of these white CEOs and whatnot who are fired, white women. But see, it's because the media and the politicians frame DEI as something that only is helping Black and brown communities, many of these resentful white people who are racist or bigoted, again, the poor whites, they're told to hate the dark people, right? And so if DEI is helping dark people, brown people get a leg up, oh, well, we don't want that. You see? So that it got poor whites turned against it. And so without realizing it, they've sabotaged their own doggone selves. And that's how racism can turn around and bite you in the butt. You got racism that's literally blinding people from real benefit. Look at what happened to the Latinos. They wanted to be white adjacent. So they voted for Donald Trump, which is something that goes directly against their own interests. It bit them in the butt. Let me explain something to you. I'm going to say it again. Racism is deeply embedded in America. Okay. And some people will rather, it's just like the weather. It is as American as apple pie. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to change anybody. It is what it is. And there are only a few people who are willing to talk about it. Put your big drawers on and deal with this. This is how we exist in this country. It's going to be like that. It's never going to go anywhere. If it was just brown people in this country, there would be brown people who are racist against other brown people because they lived up on the hill and this one lived down in the valley. It is what it is. That's how human beings are. We are that competitive that we have to find a reason why not to like the other person so we can feel that we can do better and we deserve better than them. That's human nature. You're not going to get away with it. See, you got some folk who would rather burn the entire racism is so deeply embedded in America that some people would rather burn the entire house down than let black folks get a room. They believe that getting rid of DEI will only harm black people, but they fail to realize that the first people who are going to suffer from these rollbacks are white women and the white children that they're taking care of. Think about it. When people pushed for the ending of affirmative action in college admissions, they celebrated it as it was a victory against these so-called unqualified black students. But guess what? The biggest losers in the immediate aftermath were white women, okay? Many of them had benefited from legacy admissions and gender-based hiring and diversity initiatives, and they gave them an advantage. Black folk ain't going to them schools like that. You got a lot of Africans going to those schools. Black people not going to those schools. Asians, it affected Asians tremendously. When companies roll back DEI hire, white women who have long benefited from gender diversity hire, they're the ones who will see their career opportunities shrink. When the Supreme Court gutted affirmative action, many folk believe it was a direct attack against black and brown students, but white women were just as affected, if not more. Many of them are losing access to preferential hiring in law and medicine and business. Look, even after, what was that called? Doggone it, it's called, Me Too. Me Too. Somebody type Me Too in the chat room. Me Too. You got white men that won't even have meetings with white women anymore because they're afraid she'll say something, they'll lose their job. And so by fighting DEI, white America is hurting itself. And the irony, to me, is staggering. Many white conservatives have spent years complaining about black people were getting special treatment through affirmative action and DEI, when in reality, the majority of DEI programs were lifting up their daughters, their mothers, their aunties, their grandmothers first and foremost. And now by dismantling these programs for so-called racial, because of their racial resentment, they are actively cutting off opportunities for their own daughters and sisters and wives. You see, who gets hired under gender diversity policies? White women. Who benefits from corporate DEI hiring? White women. Who gains the most from scholarship and educational diversity efforts? White women. But the racist narratives that paint black people as the biggest beneficiaries of these programs, many Americans are cheering on the policies, stuff that's going to directly harm them. And this is the thing, racism is the ultimate self-sabotage. What you're witnessing is one of the greatest self-inflicted wounds in American history. Poor people voting for Donald Trump. And again, I voted for Donald Trump. Okay, because I want to get my taxes low. You understand? I'm just gonna keep it 100. I voted my interest. Somebody type vote your interest in the chat room. I voted my interest. I told you all to vote your interest. Okay. But again, I'm in a different class than you all. I'm in a different tax bracket. I earned my way up here. I'm trying to, like I said earlier, I'm trying to get that phantom. You understand? But see, people are so determined to make sure black folk didn't get ahead. Okay. They were willing to dismantle programs that have lifted up their own community. And see, that's how the rich whites play the poor whites all the time. They get you to do what they want you to do, right? We're gonna replace all these Mexicans with machines, right? Jobs, y'all ain't picking no fruit. They know you're not. They're gonna replace this with machines. They're gonna get rid of some of these people. AI is taking over. So we need less people. We're done. We don't need that labor anymore. It is what it is. Anybody with some common sense can see what's happening. We don't need them, send them home. Let them pack up their stuff and go. Now, the anger and resentment, the we want fairness crowd, somebody type we want fairness, doesn't actually care about fairness. They care about maintaining the illusion of white superiority. And that illusion is strong, is so strong that many are willing to make themselves worse off just to make sure black people don't get an opportunity. Now, I say stuff that, you know, some black people don't want to hear. Like this cat right here, whoever this is, SK Simmons. Dennis Sperling is the #1 sellout on the internet. Where have I sold out? When am I going to get paid? When am I going to get my money? That's it. I want my check. Okay. But I'm going to tell you something. This is why, people like that. Let me explain something to you. We always talk about the effect that white supremacy racism has on dark people or brown people around the world. But we never talk about the effect, the mind warp that it has had on white people. Imagine being someone who has been raised to believe that they're superior, raised to believe they're naturally better, and then you got some black man roll up on you in the college and get the highest grades there are. Imagine you have a black person that you're supposed to be better than. Not only can they outwork you, they're stronger than you, they're better than you, they retain information. You know that they are better than you in pretty much every aspect. Imagine the level of delusion. Imagine that bubble being burst. It's mind shattering. You see? And so white supremacy, right? I mean, you got white folk who truly believe that Egypt was built by Europeans. You got white, even other ethnicities. You got Mexicans and Latinos who are trained to believe that big, beautiful, masculine, wonderful black people, they're somehow, you 5'2", I'm 6'4". And nowhere are you better than me in anything. You see? But racism would have you believing that you're better. And in reality, and when you're confronted with the fact that you're not, especially when you see them white women rolling out with them brothers, that hurts the heart. You see, you have to confront that level of delusion. See, and a lot of folk, especially the brothers like this, well, that's what they say. That's what they say. But shout out to everybody who's been contributing to the Super Chat, Cash App, and the PayPal. But I'm going to continue challenging. I don't care if you like it or not. You ain't going to do nothing about it, but talk. That's all you're going to do. Tell out. I don't care what you say. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep spitting this hot flame to these folk, cooling them off. But again, like I said, you got, we want fairness, that crowd, it doesn't actually care about fairness. They care about maintaining that the illusion of white supremacy so that they can maintain the delusion in their head. And most people of color, brown folk, let them white folk do what they want to do. Y'all go on ahead and be in charge. You see, go right on ahead. Just keep on doing what you're doing, right? Because, it is what it is. But that illusion is strong. It's so strong that many are willing to make themselves worse off just to make sure black people don't get an opportunity, okay? But here's the kicker. America doesn't function without DEI. You need some level of diversity. You need some different ideas coming from some different places. Happens to me all the time. You lose innovation and talent. when you don't get people from different perspectives and different cultures. Okay? I mean, be frank, I think, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have met some white women who are some amazing and dynamic lawyers. They get down and dirty into the nitty gritty of every case. They see things you don't see. As long as that jury has white women on it, you're going to need some white women on the jury. As long as that corporation is selling to women, you're going to need some women in general. If you're catering to women, black women, you're going to need some black women to tell you what they're thinking about. If you're a politician, you're going to need some black women around you if you want the black women vote. If you got any sort of organization that caters to black men, you're going to need some black men. So you're going to need some diversity. You see? You better get as many Nigerians as you can in your STEM program. You want to see some hardworking people who can break down some mathematics and science and trigonometry and organic. Get you a couple of good Nigerians. God damn, my brother, this is what you have to. This is what have you do. Next thing, they done figured out formulas from 100 years back that folk couldn't figure out. Brilliant people. Love my Nigerian brother. Y'all some of the smartest, brilliant PhD ass, but y'all slick as pig snot, but y'all still are just brilliant. Those West Africans are brilliant, man. I mean, again, we know you'll get that random phone call from the coffee shop talking about you just inherited 3 million pounds. All you got to do is send me a check and I'll wire it to you. But they are otherwise just some of the most brilliant people I've met. So you need that level of diversity. Okay? But again, who's going to suffer the most? White women in the middle class. As we push back this DEI. The first casualties are not going to be black people. They're just not. We're not looking for these jobs. You see what I'm saying? We not up in white America at these. Hell no. Some of us are, and we're doing well. But you're going to get less women getting hired in leadership roles, fewer scholarships and college admissions for white women, and less protection against discrimination. This ain't our problem. This is not our problem. Let's just keep it one. All black folk have to do if they want to get back on their feet is get married. That's it. Go ahead and get married, team up with each other, pool your resources, go find your nice house, raise your kids, mind your business. We'll be fine. We have always survived and thrived without government assistance and without corporate handouts and without policies designed to give us an advantage. We've always found a way to succeed despite barriers. I depend on my people right here now. Right? You know, you all are the ones that I mean, look, I know I got folk from everywhere. Shout out to y'all, the white folk and the Arab folk, everybody from around the world. But for the most part, I don't need anybody but my own people if I just want to be successful. The vast majority of the people that follow this page, for example, I'm like 90-some% black men. Got a few sisters here and there. Shout out to the sisters. But for the most part, I know. I mean, even as an attorney, I probably need maybe 50, 60 cases a year and I'll be fine. It's black folk all around the world, all around the country. Hey, call me if you've been in an accident. Okay. Make a little money, I'm fine. You see what I mean? So I don't need a lot. My own black, that's why you never sell out. You never turn on your people. You don't want to turn because your people will turn on you. And if your people turn on you, then you're no use to the system anymore. I'm just keeping it 100. That's why you always stay down with your people. Just remember what I said. Okay, now, back to the subject matter at hand. And we talk about farewell, welfare, and goodbye, DEI. If America wants to tear down DEI and affirmative action because they think it's only helping black people, they're in there for a rude awakening and they see it. The system they're destroying is the very one that gave white women the biggest head start. Matter of fact, the government has always given white folk a handout. This is why it's their country. They gave land grants to people who would rush west, Kansas, Ohio. Black folk wasn't involved in that. They gave them handouts after World War II, the GI Bill and all that. We didn't get that, but we still survived. You see? And let me tell you something else. It's not just white people that are tired. Shout out to my man, Kenneth Will. It's not just white people who are tired of these freeloaders. Did you see what that sister said before? Let me run this back so you can see the anger and vitriol in her face. I want you to see how this sister feels about DEI and welfare. We are tired of it too. Everybody's tired of it. But nobody expresses it like this lady.
That they are cutting food stamps for people who are able-bodied adults without a dependent. If you are an able-bodied adult without any dependents, why is it that you are receiving food stamps in the first place? Why is it that you cannot get up and go to work like everybody else since you are an able-bodied adult without dependents? I'm glad that they're cutting food stamps. Now, I am not someone who thinks that nobody should ever get government assistance. You have fallen on hard times. I think it's fine if you need to get government assistance for a time. But I think there should be a limit to how much government assistance a person receives, especially if that person is an able-bodied adult.
Yeah, right there. You see? Shout out to that sister. So, and she speaks for all the hardworking Americans who are fed up. They're tired. I had to get a little sneeze out there. Shout out to everybody. They're tired, but brothers and sisters, everybody, Americans, we're just tired of watching our tax dollars go to people who refuse to work. We're tired of the government rewarding laziness. Okay, that's what it is. I can't get a job, lazy. And all the while, they're pushing those who actually contribute to society to pay more taxes. Okay, and no group is more frustrated than Black Americans, period. The very people who are often falsely accused of benefiting the most from the handout, because we got to deal with that section of our community. And it's holding us down. It's like an albatross around our neck. It's an anchor that keeps us in the shallow water. We can't fly with these folks. Again, the truth is Black Americans are and always have been some of the hardest working people in this country. And historically, we built this nation. And we built it with our labor, no matter what anybody says, no matter how much they try to deny it. This economy got its jump start from 250 years of free slave labor, period. The wealth was built up. Europe was built up because of Black slave labor, okay? And look, today, many of us are working long hours. Some of y'all working right now while you listening to me. Hell, I'm working right goddamn now. I'm working. Did y'all pay me? Let me see how many super chats I got. 30. Oh, yeah. I'm doing good. Shout out to that. We got 30. That's pretty. Okay? Appreciate all y'all. All right. Yeah. But anyway, we hardworking people. We pay our taxes. And we trying to create better lives for our children and ourselves. And yet we're told that we're the ones living off government assistance. And that's a lie. And we're tired of it. That is a lie, and we're tired of it. It's a lie. Now, they like to come in, well, you know what we're receiving per capita. Per capita, we like 12% of the population. So 12% of the population per capita. So think about this. Out of the 500,000 Black people that's receiving welfare, you got like 20 or 30 million white folks that's receiving welfare. You want to complain about the 500,000 Black folks who've been systematically ostracized from the benefits of the system, and you got 8-9 million folks. Just think about that. Who's really more of a drain on the system? 8-9 million white folks who are sucking off the public trough, or there's 500,000 or 600,000 Black women who had some kids and social. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I don't want to talk about that per capita. I want to know the exact numbers. But who's feeling it right now? Those people who got the money, the checks turned off. But here's the thing: most working class and middle class Americans, regardless of race, are paying for a system that rewards the worst behavior. We work long hours. We pay our taxes. We try to get ahead, only to see our tax dollars being funneled into welfare programs that often enable entitlement, dependency, and fraud. And let me tell you something. Somebody said it's 38 million whites on welfare. I believe you. 38 million. Somebody look up how many Black people on welfare. Internet, do your job. 38 million white people on welfare. That's 10%. Y'all messing with us? I mean, just think about it. That y'all got more people on welfare than we have in this country. And you giving black folks a hard time. Okay, that's not cool, but it's coming back to bite you in the butt. Now, the other thing I want you to understand, the reason black folks have turned is because, we've got money now. Upper middle class, rich. That represents 60% of black men once they reach middle class, are either upper middle class, or rich. Period. You can't get away from that. Look it up. And I think that stat was like 6-7 years ago. So it's gone up since then. And a lot of those people that don't count, some of them are children, some of them are elderly. You know, we working overtime and the government takes more money out of our paycheck. You save up to do things the right way, but someone who made a bad choice and had all these kids or went to jail or whatever, they get bailed out. You struggle to make ends meet, but someone who refuses to work is collecting benefits. Let's be clear about this, man. It's not just about people who fall on hard times and need temporary help. That's not what this is about. We understand that. We need help sometimes, okay? But see, this frustration comes from generations of people who made a lifestyle out of doing nothing while collecting everything. Black Americans especially are tired of the free ride mentality. That's why a lot of brothers and some sisters voted for Trump. And the biggest irony is that Black Americans who work, pay taxes, and contribute are lumped in with all the other black folk and all the other people in general who are draining the system. And we're sick of it. For decades, the media and the politicians have painted the picture that Black Americans are the main recipients of welfare. And as we stated before, that is a lie. The biggest demographic is white people. White Americans are the biggest draw on welfare. But somehow we've always get blamed. And what makes it worse is that many hardworking Black families don't even qualify for assistance because we make too much money. And yet they see others who refuse to work getting everything handed to them. And we work twice as hard to get ahead because we have to, but we still pay for those who refuse to try. We fight for better schools, but lazy parents don't invest in their children's future. We build businesses, but our tax dollars are handed to people who sit their butts at the house. That's why we're done. We're tired. We're tired of carrying this burden while other people are rewarded for doing nothing. Okay? And there was a time when welfare was temporary. It was a safety net. Now it's just become a lifestyle for people. You've created generations of people who believe their old housing, their old food, and medical care, and their old spending money. They're like a teenager. And they feel like they don't have to do anything to contribute. We see it every day. Able-bodied adults on food stamps, waiting for their SSI check, waiting for their welfare check to hit instead of getting a job. Section 8 tenants, trashing properties they don't pay for. Mothers having multiple children with no financial plan at all, expecting the taxpayers to foot the bill. Them our kids. Those are our children. We paying for them. They belong to us. Somebody type, "We done" in the chat room. Let's see if we can get to 40 super chats before I finish freezing these airways, man. We got 30. Give me one more. No, just give me 5. That'll be live. But again, we're done. We're done. And here's the cold part. Many of the same people are the loudest complainers. They want more. They're literally protesting when their benefits are cut. They act like we owe them something. Meanwhile, the people actually working and paying bills get nothing but higher taxes and less opportunity. It's some guys right now who are in their trucks on the open road, riding across the highways and byways of America, listening to me, saying, "Damn, he's right. I'm out here working. I got to be from here to there at a certain time. I got to check in. I'm working." And they sitting at home collecting the check. You have a relative like that. You don't have to say their name. But if it's your cousin type cousin, if it's your sister type sister, you understand? If it's your brother type brother, you understand? If it's your mama type mama, we tired of it. And they had the nerve to complain. The nerve to protest because they can't get any more free money. Meanwhile, the people actually working and paying the bills get nothing but higher taxes and less opportunity. We're glad Trump is cutting these. We're glad. I'll be honest with you. We have a lot of people who silently approve of everything they see happening right now. Somebody type silent approval in the chat room. Somebody type silent approval in the chat room. You might not want to speak publicly about it, but you silently approve of what you see, cutting these taxes, sending these people home. I mean, and cutting these benefits for these free. Somebody type silent approval in the chat room. See, let me run this back to you, man. See, the real victims of this broken welfare system are the ones who actually try. It's the single mother with 2 jobs. Shout out to LaShawn Jones. He said, Uncle D, I'm just joining. What welfare programs were cut? Shout out, hey baby girl, how you doing? It's the young lady. Shout out to my man Dario 25. It's the young lady who, instead of getting pregnant like some of her family members, went on to school, got good grades. Maybe she got a little trade. Maybe she does hair on the side, and she got a little business together. Does lashes, does nails. She's the real victim. It's the young man growing up and his uncle's on SSI, his daddy's on disability, his mama's on welfare checks, and he has to go out and do some little menial job and come home to them laying up all day, drinking beer and playing bid whiz and dominoes and spades. It's the small business owner paying ridiculous taxes while people live off the government checks. It's the college graduate drowning in debt, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 straight out of college. Some of y'all higher than that because they chose to do things the right way while others are living off handouts. So they riding around in their new SRT and you got Sally Mae hitting you up on your cell phone. And they calling you a fool. It's the hardworking class, especially Black Americans. We've had enough. So we silently approve of what Donald Trump is doing. Look, I'm going to say it. I say the quiet part out loud. Some of us silently approve of what we see happening with Donald Trump. Some of y'all who didn't even vote for him. You like, damn, if I knew he was going to do all this, I'd put my stamp of approval on him. And see, we refuse to be the financial backbone for a system that keeps rewarding laziness while punishing productivity. It's time to stop rewarding dependency and start rewarding work. And here's how we do it. We need to end generational welfare, family. If you've been on government assistance for more than a certain number of years, you need to be required to work. You need to train, you need to contribute in some kind of way. People work from home in their computers these days. It's not that hard. Shout out to my man BMW Video. Thank you, so keep preaching. Yeah. We need to make welfare a stepping stone, which is what it was supposed to be, not a permanent solution. Welfare should be for emergencies, not a doggone lifestyle. You damn hanging out in Miami for the weekend on your welfare check. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. We need to eliminate the loopholes and fraud because a lot of people lie about their income and they work under the table and they literally commit fraud to collect benefits. And we pay for that. It needs to stop. You need to stop punishing hardworking Americans. If you work and you pay taxes, you shouldn't struggle more than people who are living off government checks. And that's just it. Shout out to my man BMW again, man. We got 35. We might get 40. We need to stop making excuses and start teaching real financial accountability. I mean, look, man, it's real simple. Hardworking Americans, especially Black Americans, are sick and tired of carrying a system that's broken. And we fought too hard and worked too long and sacrificed too much to keep paying for people who refuse to contribute. And if you're an able-bodied, capable, working person, get a job. If you having kids and you can't afford to take responsibility for that, you think taxpayers should fund your lifestyle forever? You are the problem. No, this free ride is over. Somebody type over in the chat room. This free ride is over. It's time for fairness. Shout out to my man TIQS. It's time for fairness, for real accountability, and for a system that actually rewards the people who make this country run. Now, let me say this. You may not like Donald Trump. You may not like him at all. You may not like the package he comes in, but sometimes you don't get the hero you want, you get the hero you need. Let me say that again. As they say, sometimes you don't get the hero you want, you get the hero you need. Look, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And that's where we at right now. Now I'm gonna take a quick break and fill my water bottle up. And y'all hang in there. Don't run off now. Don't run off. We're gonna keep on cooking. We got a Texas barbecue popping off down here, baby. And I'm about to put the ribs on the grill. Y'all hang in there, man. I'll be right back. Y'all hit the #1 button if you appreciate what I'm doing, man. Take this opportunity. If you learned something today, take this opportunity to go ahead and contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. I'll be right back in a minute. Y'all do what you do.
What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D.
People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You would tune in to Uncle D. D's Black Man Talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something and you earn something. Let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Furnace Furlin, this ain't Furlin, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shootin', give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you've been served, gotta notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Floby and cut your own damn hair from now on.
Yeah. Welcome back. All right, man. Shout, man. We got 39 super chats, man. We rolling, baby. We rolling. Look, I want to make sure I give a shout out to everybody who contributed to the super chat. Let me check my Cash App first. I might have to start reading my Cash Apps first. Shout out to my man Jeffrey Beverly. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you. You are outstanding and awesome. I think you're the only person to contribute to the Cash App tonight. Good looking out. Ashton Mulkey, he came through earlier tonight. Good looking out, fam. Also, Justin Pickard and Mr. Timothy Hennigan. I appreciate all you guys, man. Good looking out. Yeah. All right. So let me do this. Shout out to Big Bass Life. He always comes through with the hits. I need to pay that dude. You know, I got to pay him for these videos. So we're going to have to establish a separate a Big Bass Life fund to make sure he gets paid, baby. These nickels and these 10s and 20s. I had to send him a check cross town every month or so. Y'all think this? You think he's doing it for free? The man ain't doing it for free. I don't let people work for me for free. Even if they say not, I'm gonna find a way to pay them because I respect people's time. You see what I mean? And that's what you should do too. I don't let people do things for me for free. But anyway, let's go ahead and take this opportunity to thank all the wonderful people. We got 39 super chats. We got 39 right now. Maybe we'll get to 40 before the end. 30 or 39 is fine, but 40 is better. Okay, even in stormy weather. Work watching. Yeah, we go. There we go. My man is at work. Shout out to my man Red Sigma, man. He says, you guys say some of the most crass things. Hit the #1 button, man. Let's keep this algorithm popping. Match the donation, Ken folks, doing the Lord's work, dropping game. Thank you so much, Generation Malcolm X. I appreciate you, brother. I know the ancestors are watching. I like your name. You know what I'm saying? I know the ancestors are with us and they're watching. And I certainly do want to make sure that my legacy is one where I spoke the truth to my people. I spoke the truth in general, and the truth is going to carry past time. That's your legacy. I want my legacy to be one who gave all praise to the Most High and spoke truth to the people. That's all I can ask for. That's a blessing in itself. Big boss, real talk. Yes, I got shook down by Mexican police for $300. That's what I'm saying. And we were talking about that earlier. People talk about, oh, America's so oppressive. America has issues, but I would rather live here than China and Russia. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I would rather live here than most other countries. I just want you to think about when you start traveling and see how you get treated, not as a tourist, not over there with your blue American passport. Go on over there and be a local. After you get through walking through the mud trails, and not having health care and not having aspirin for your headaches for about a year or two, you'll realize just how great it is to live in a first world country like America. You got to have structure. It is what it is. I mean, y'all don't have to like what I'm saying. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. Most of you all go to these other countries, and the minute you realize you got to take a cold shower instead of a hot shower, you ready to come home. Okay. The minute you realize they don't have them little seats, the seats that sit on top of the toilet, and you got to put your butt down in there and you might get a little, you know what I mean? When you fall through the toilet in the middle of the night, the minute that happened, you ready to come back home. So cut it out. Cut it out. Stop pretending like, it's so much oppression. Ain't no toilet paper in some of these other countries. Okay, ain't no toilet paper there. Then after they get through shaking you down and stealing your money, you be ready to come back. But anyway, shout out to Quiet Faith. These are the good times. There are constructive hardships for every country and every person. We've been degrading under the lack of standards and structure. Yes, we have. Thank you so much for that very brilliant take on and broadcast. Lyndall Jefferson. So the independent not going to be so independent. The environment has changed. The environment has changed. It's easy for women and anybody to be independent when you don't need help because the government is helping you. Most of us can't compete with the government. The government got all the money. The government prints money. Your woman left you for the government and you mad at yourself. Really nothing you can do about it. You can get a job, but the government is always there. Can't compete with that. You see what I mean? But now, thanks to Donald Trump, it's all coming to an end. Calvin King, he said, I'm happy it is the universe correcting itself. Yeah, all roads come to an end. You understand? That's an old saying. My man, Black Marvel, in the words of Obsidian, support Black male media. You've been on these last few weeks since the election and covering the deportations and the administration. Please keep it up. I will, brother. I will, man. Like I told y'all, and I'm going to talk about this in an upcoming video. Black folk, we need to put our swords down. Okay, we need to put our shields down and we need to go ahead and come together. This gender war, our favorite sport, talking bad about each other in public. We've talked out all the points. At this point, there's really no need to give our enemies ammunition to use against us. You understand what I'm saying? Look, you still may hold whatever feelings you hold towards members of the opposite sex, okay, of your same racial and ethnic group. But at the end of the day, we don't really have time for that. And there's people on the internet who've made, their careers on bashing members of the opposite sex. When you talk about your Cynthia G's and those type folks, and she's entitled to have her opinion. Everybody's it's the internet. And there's some male counterparts on that. They have, Mr. Tommy Sotomayor, they have made their money, speaking their truth, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're right. It's some dusty black men, and it's some what I don't know, what does Tommy Sotomayor call black? It's some not so good black women, some bad girls out there. You see what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, this is not that time. We are living in a hostile, racially charged environment where you have some of these whack jobs who think Donald Trump means it's open season on everybody that's not blonde haired and blue eyed. And so we need to kind of chill a little bit. You understand what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So we need to chill. So yeah, that's why I've been on that, brother. But shout out to you, Black Marvel. Who else we got? Johnny Harris, not generational welfare in Section 8. 5-6 years long enough to get a trade job. It is, man. It makes no sense for people to be on that long. They won't make good slaves. All right, shout out to you, brother. Hey, Dennis, since the strong independent quangs are seeing diversity, equity, and inclusion gone away, how about these quangs apply for the dirty, dangerous jobs they pay well, right? They're not going to do that. What they're going to do, okay, they're going to go find them a man and do what women been doing. They're going to lay up. They're going to get real feminine. They're going to be who they are, but they have to play the game. Women are survivors. There's no jobs out there. You think she either going to find her man and take care of her and deal with that, or go out there and live in the streets, or go get a job that doesn't exist? No, that's not what's going to happen. And most of y'all are going to take these women back. Let me look y'all in the eye. You dudes, you black dudes, some of y'all right there with white men. Y'all some of the most simplest dudes in the world. You're going to take them right back. That's why that woman had, after baby, she got 15 kids. Yeah, she probably cooked real good. She got them in there some kind of way. She got them in there and trapped their baby better. So, it's going to be, I'm not saying across the board. I'm saying that's just human nature. Shout out to Urban Eagle. Thank you so much for the super sticker, sir. Nuruddin, FDNY guy, because the strong and independent queens remind me all my life that they don't need a man. They frown on us that do these dirty and dangerous jobs. Like so many ladies come down and come on down and work less. Yeah, man, they'll be back. They'll be back. And see, here's the problem. If they don't come back, then Maria is going to come get you. See, as my good friend Kevin Samuels used to say, Black women always thought Becky was her biggest adversary. It is not. It's Maria. Maria is coming for you, man. And, whether Black women want to admit it or not, they may not like it, and everybody's entitled to their dreams and fantasies. For the most part, it's Black women who marry Black women on the largest scale. Black men largely find Black women attractive. I've yet to meet a Black man who doesn't find Black women attractive, even if they're dating out of the race. Typically, most Black men who date out of the race are still very attracted to Black women. We find them beautiful. We find them gorgeous. It just is what it is. We even look for the same attributes that Black women typically have, voluptuous figures, shapes, in women of other ethnicities. So we can have it at home, we'll get it. You see? And so now what's going to end up happening, the environment has changed, the political environment has changed. You really have no choice. Where a lady once she had options, she don't have options anymore. The government's not going to save you. You can't get that good government job. DEI is dead. Okay. And it's going to be what it's going to be. And you got to do what you got to do, ladies. You got to do what you got to do to get what you want. Shout out to, he said, yeah, whipping ass and taking that. Yeah, man. Shout out to Alonzo. Again, Owsley County, 98% white, 87% on welfare. Damn. Is that one of those Appalachian County? 97%. Owsley County, Kentucky, 98% white, 87% on welfare. Yeah, this is not a news story, though. This is what we need to talk about. Shout out to my man Calvin King. She effed around and found out, removed. Nuruddin, FDNY guy, 1677. Come on, ladies. Those dirty, dangerous jobs do pay six figures. Let's get to work. Yeah, they may be dangerous. Yeah, they may be dirty, but they pay well, right? See, women do not want equal rights. They want equal outcomes. Ladies are looking for they're looking for the corner offices. They're not looking for the dirty, dangerous jobs. They like the money from the dirty, dangerous jobs, but they're not going to do it. I mean, it's just reality. I think we're going to see a lot of women headed back to the kitchen. Again, like I told you before, this is a fight between white men and white women. White men want white women back in the kitchen. Okay, they want them back in the kitchen. Shout out that we got 41 super chats. Yeah, 41, man. That's what I'm talking about. We doing it out here. I think the record for me is 52. I think I got 52 super chats once. So shout out to everybody. We getting up there. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all doing it because I know you've learned something. I'm not just on here doing foolishness and cutting up. You actually have something you can go back to in 10 or 15 years if it's still up here and be like, yeah, I remember that conversation. This is actually helping you enhance your knowledge base and your wisdom. And that really I'm proud of the work that I do. And so I appreciate you all showing me this love. I'm proud. I stand on what I'm doing. I appreciate it, especially this stuff now. But anyway, yeah, man, they're not gonna do that. They don't want dirty jobs. Hey, ladies, have you worked a dirty job? Have you worked ladies? Hey, ladies, have worked a dirty and now getting ready to work in a very dangerous job or jobs? Why can't y'all know the jobs that y'all look down upon? And see, here's the thing, ladies. Nuruddin FDNY guy represents a lot of black men and a lot of men in general who, when you come back to them, they're gonna be like, oh, you're only dating me now because the economy's bad. You only dating me now because you don't have a job. But we know that unfortunately, a lot of people place a lot of extras on having a college degree. But what's the point if you have a college degree and you only make $45,000 a year, but then you have a brother who owns a plumbing business or who's an electrician or who's a union man, pipe fitter, offshore worker, and he pulling down 100 something. Think about that. You see what I mean? How much is that degree in sociology really work if it's only going to give you $45,000 a year? And this man has been making $120,000 a year straight out of high school. And so now he's done what he's supposed to do. He's got his own house, got his pickup truck, start his own side business. You know, at the end of the day, you should not look down on hardworking blue collar men, whatever color they are. That's just foolish to me. Those are the men, F all these alpha males, so to speak. The so-called blue collar workers, those are the ones that make the world turn. You understand? And most people don't realize that. That's why Kevin Samuels had so much love and respect for the hardworking men in the world. The blue collar men make the world go round. The truck drivers, those dudes on the side of the road with those little orange vests and the hats, those guys climbing up the side of those buildings, the fellas building the houses and making sure the plumbing is working, the dudes doing an inspection, making sure the buildings don't fall down. The military guys out there on that wall protecting us. Those are the real men of our society. Look, I'm a lawyer. F me. You know what I'm saying? Forget me. Forget what I'm talking about. All the doctors, all the upper, forget them. This world does not move without hardworking, middle class, hardworking, blue collar men. The world shuts down immediately. Period. So you need to tip your hat to these hardworking men, the plumbers, the electricians, the pipe fitters, the welders, the people who lay the concrete. Those are the men who make the world come run around. Those are the firefighters, the police officers, hell, the security guys, the guys who stock the market, the fellas who drive in the trucks, the dudes who unload the trucks, the forklift drivers. Those are the men who make this world go round. This world, we do not live in a first world society without them. And I don't care how many, look, all white collar dudes do is push paper and talk about theory. It is those blue collar men who put the metal to the pedal to the metal. They build our trains, they build our planes, they build our automobiles, they build our houses, they build our roads, they build our buildings, they make sure the electricity system works. Those are the guys. And we should show them a lot more respect. And for any woman who passes up a good blue collar hard worker, man, you're a fool and you deserve the life that you get. You understand me? So shout out to them. My man, thank you so much, Nerd and FDNIY. But who else? Be tall, young, attractive, praise Trump. We don't deserve this man. He is, you know, like I say, man, like they say, sometimes you don't get the hero you want, you get the hero you need. My man Nuridan FDNIY 1677. I have to say this, even though Donald Trump may be himself, but he at least appreciates the men that do the dirty and very dangerous jobs to keep the world safe. I can at least say, yeah, man, I like the fact that he appreciates the military, because they're oftentimes underappreciated. They do a dangerous job. So big shout out to all my military folks. Where my Marines at? United States Marine Corps, the Space Force, Army, the Air Force, the Navy, right? And I know the Marines are actually a division of the Navy. Shout out to the Coast Guard. Shout out to the Army Reserves. Big shout out to all you guys, all my military folks, man. All my folks who are military dependents, all my folks who had a dad or granddad or mom or auntie or sister in the military, man, y'all hit the #1 button for all your military family members. Shout out to y'all for the sacrifice. My man Nuridan, FDNIY. Fun fact, ladies, do you know that it was men that worked at the power plant that marched to death to stop Chernobyl from happening and spreading? It's just something to think about. Brother, you look, let me tell you, you blue collar brothers, you don't have to sell yourself. Forget them. If they don't appreciate you, move on. And you don't have to make it easy for them to come back to you. I'm just saying, all right? Be reasonable, right? But understand, you don't have to know your value, okay? I don't care if you put your pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. Every other man does the same thing. Know your value. Don't allow them to treat you like that. You know, you want to she got a master's degree from what is it called? Phoenix University, the University of Phoenix, and she thinks she's better than you because you're a truck driver. Forget her. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, hey ladies, become a truck driver, get your commercial driver's license like I did, and the trucking jobs will come. Just have to go and apply. You can make 6 figures, but they don't want to do that. They're gonna let you make that money, baby. But anyway, but Maria wants you. Just keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. Torian Jones says Angel Adams found a simp to marry her, and she had 2 more kids from her husband, 17 kids. Damn, are you serious? You mean the same woman? Hold on, player. No, we not talking about. I refuse to believe that. Is this who you talking
Angel
about?
Adams blames the system for her problems. No. A system of social service agencies trying to help her. Adams has 15 children, 12 who are now living with her in this small motel room.
Somebody needs to pay for all my children and mine and Gary, all our suffering, all our pain. Somebody needs to be held accountable, and they need to pay.
That woman, you telling me that woman found a husband and she got 2 more kids for him? Woo, boy, she got that. Boy, she got that snapper. That's what that got to be. That snapper. She got that. She about got that snapback snap. It got to be 17 kids. God damn. Excuse my language. That's woo-wee. Boy, she must be blued out. Praise God. Hallelujah. Ooh, she found somebody to marry her. That is amazing. That is just amazing. But anyway, ooh, I don't even want to comment on it. It might get to, I don't want to, nope, not going to think about it. Anyway, I might just spray myself. Let me spray myself. Anyway, Alonzo Dunn, he says, Uncle D, Stephen Miller pointed out that 1% of the immigrants work agriculture. He said that the other 99% are in the cities and costing trillion. Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. And here's the other thing. They have programs that they give people visas just for the purpose of coming up here to pick the vegetables and the fruit. Okay, I mean, they literally, and some of those people get taken better care of than folk. They got to provide housing for them. They got to provide health for them. They got to check on them, as opposed to the ones. So there is a system set up for that. You just have to apply for it. You can't just bum rush the border, walk up to a plant in Mississippi and say, I'm here to help you raise these chickens. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So you're going to be fine. Don't believe the alarmists. As long as people are paying money for work, the government already has a plan in place. People just have to apply. You see, now if they come up here and they get caught and they get sent out, it's going to take 20 years. So a lot of folk are going home and they'll have to apply. Some of them will be back. Just keeping it 100 with you. So shout out to Alonzo Dunn. Shout out to Big Tall Young Attractives. He said, this is good education. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That warms my heart. Oh, man, we at 44. We knocking at the door. We'll be at 45, and that'll be live. Shout out to everybody. Big, Tall, Young, and Attractive. Piggly Wiggly. Yes, you get that good job at the Piggly Wiggly. Baby, what you out here stressing about? Go on down there and get that good. Let's watch this one more time. Go on down there and get that good job.
I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we fucking get.
Craig is the assistant manager down at the Walmart.
Please fucking tell me he's lying. I can't.
I'm melting.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
Come on back, Neffany. She just melted. Bless her little heart. Bless her little heart. Bless her little heart. Praise God. Yeah, man. The Piggly Wiggly. But anyway, I hope that young lady is able to work the issues out. Great teaching. Thank you so much, Hideo Maximus, KW Don 7. President Crotch Grab is doing everything. He sure is. That's like he can grab all the crotches he wants, long as my taxes are low. I don't care what he does. The man, Big Boss Real Talk, he said, find a man and hash out a deal. Right. Yes, find a man and hash out a deal. As the great Kevin Samuels would say. Kenneth Williams, $4.99 super sticker. Simeon T.O., LaShawn Jones, thank you so much for that. 20. Hey, Uncle D, I'm joining. What welfare programs are being cut? All of them being cut, girl. All of them. Every one of them. They got to go. Okay? They got to stop. They got to get a job, LaShawn. They need jobs. That's what they need. Stop sitting around waiting for a check. That's what you need to do. Get you a job. That's what you need to do. Shout out to LaShawn Jones. Shout out to Dario25. Silent approval. Somebody typed silent approval in the chat. There's a lot of y'all out here who are very happy at what you see is going on. You don't want to gloat because you're not messy. You got to go to church on Sunday. But you silently approve of everything you see happening thus far. Praise God. All right. But I know you don't want to be ugly in public, but you silently approve. If you silently approve of what you see, folk getting rounded up who committed all these crimes and whatnot, type silent approval in the chat room. Thank you very much. BMW video, keep preaching. I shall. BMW went back and keep preaching. I'm going to keep on preaching, baby. Also, TIQS, he said, Uncle D, tax, keep cooking that barbecue, Texas. I'm on it, man. I'm grilling, baby. I got my new grill in the backyard. I'm ready for the summer. I'm telling you, I'm ready. I got a new grill in the backyard. Ooh-wee. Ooh, I'm going to put some pictures up so y'all can see. I'm going to be cooking brisket. Boy, I cook a mean brisket. So I'm going to be cooking. I'm going to keep cooking in the backyard. But, and shout out to my man, BMW. Hey, man, appreciate that, bro. Rock and roll. Okay, we good looking out. No doubt. Yeah. All right. Big shout out to who else we got up in there? My man, Brian, Chris Joseph, the Blizzard King. Yeah, we're going to keep it frosty. Thank you, brother. Ben Cisco, Emissary Uncle D. Yeah, man. Shout out to you too. And also Red Sigma. I learned something. That's all I want you to do, baby. Learn something. Shout out to Zay's Story Show. My father, 65 and owes over $400,000 in child support. Damn, man. $400,000 in child support, brother. And back taxes because of California used the cash to pay the welfare program. Oh, man. He's never going to get out of debt. That's your that's your legacy right there. Even if he has something to give you, child support is going to get the money. He may not even pay that amount of money to your mother. Or who that might have went to Medicaid or Medicare. This is what happens to family wealth. This is what happens to the black family. They come get your money. They find a way to get your money, man. This is horrible, brother. I wish we could help him get out of that. I know that there's a way that mom can waive the child support. I am aware of that. And you might need to talk to mom. He's 65 years old, man. That man, he can't even enjoy his his twilight years. That's cold-blooded, man. Golly, man, I hate to hear that's a heartbreaker, baby. Anyway, shout out to TIQS. Let them suffer, and we too damn nice. We remember that. Remember what you said at the conclave, Uncle. Yeah, you are, brothers. Look, let me explain something to you, black men. I know you. And as tough as you talk, most of you guys are have some of the biggest hearts. You're very compassionate, especially when it comes to women and children. And the whole world knows who you are, you know? Those women and men, black men, like there was a broadcast today. It says the sisters always complain about how black. A sister came up with this video. She's complaining about how bad black men are, according to black women. But she said, well, why? And then she postulated, well, why are all these other women choosing black men if they so bad? Right? And, you know, I'm sure it was a tough. Now, a lot of black women back when I was young, they would say, it's because these women let black men get away with stuff that we won't. You know, they can't handle a real man. But, you know, I don't know about that. You know, the internet shows us that pretty much women are pretty much the same all around the world. It's a little differences, you know. Black woman might cuss you out. Latin woman might pull out a knife. White woman might kill you in your sleep. Okay, but you die anyway. You see what I'm saying? You get die and demeaned anyway. But so women are pretty much the same. So you know, like I say, brother, they'll come around. They have to. The environment is what it is. It's either you, like Kevin, like the brother pointed out, you make a deal with a man, you know, you come up with a deal, you come up with an agreement, or you starve. And so presented those options, you know, things will begin to get better. What's going to happen when this government check dry up? Women are going to look for the next available resource. It's going to be what it's going to be, man. You can't help it. You got 3 more. If you get 3 more super chats, we'll be at 50. But I do want to. I like taking the time to discuss each one of these super chats and give you my thoughts. I mean, you took the time to type it and you made a donation. Shoot, man, I'm inclined to talk to you and talk about it and give you this one-on-one attention. Shout out to TIQS. Shout out to Johnny Harris. Blue collar workers are the invisible army. Yes, but they're not as invisible as they used to be. Shout out to all the blue collar brothers. White, black, brown, whatever. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much. Newer than FDNY guy 1677. So where are the ninjas that they love so much? How come they can't come and save you? And if you love them so much, why are you ladies homeless and living in your car? And thought you loved it. No, man, it's not about love. It's about convenience. When you are in a situation where you have a group of women, because of first world amenities, they no longer need a man. They're able to choose the man they want to choose. And what they typically will do is go for the men, that top 10% of men that they find the most attractive in their environment. In other situations where resources are scarce and life is difficult, they have to choose a man that's available. Okay. And so, you know, they have options now because the environment allows them. But see, now that the resources in the environment are shrinking, female nature is going to kick in and they're going to look out for survival. So that's very interesting. We should probably talk about that, man. But anyway, AG, small donation for the Blizzard King. Good looking out, baby. I appreciate it. I know how hard it is to get that money. My man, GCLA Figueroa, come on, player. Look, man, when I was a youngster, let me show y'all a picture, man. Let me show y'all this picture, man. Figueroa. So Figueroa is a street in Los Angeles, California. And this is the east side of LA. It's the east side of LA. This is my family right here, baby. That's my family, east side of LA. I think this picture, I don't know if y'all can tell because all of us look very similar, right? But I'm in this photograph. How many of you all can guess which one I am? How many of y'all can guess which one of these people I am, one of these human beings? But this is my grandma all the way to the left. That's my cousin Shalonda, my other cousin Chandra with the pigtails. My cousin Shalonda standing to my left. And this is my Uncle Bob. You all who read the book. This is us fresh out of Mississippi. This badass Davion. I used to fight that boy every day. His mama used to drop him off for to be watched by my grandma. My grandma had a babysitting business. And so anyway, man, Uncle Slim, you guys want to guess Aunt Geneva? This is my Aunt Geneva over here to the right with the rollers in the head. That's Uncle Sonny. I don't know who this fella is in the center. That's just, black families, man, you might have people, you call them uncle, whatever, they ain't related. You know what I'm saying? But that's family. This is the east side of LA. This is probably, I'm born in 74, I'm 40. This is probably 1978, baby. This is one of these heritage style pictures right here, man. This old school black family, man. Look, but either way, man, there's a street called Figueroa in LA, and that's where all the ladies of the night used to hang out. So I'm 14, 15 years old. Uncle Slim would be riding. We'd be riding from the east side to the west side of LA. And I was naive as a child because I didn't know. I kind of was just playing with my pets and my animals and stuff like that. And then next thing I would hear Uncle Slim as we would be driving down the street, he'd be like, damn, Uncle Slim is up here in the hat to the right. He's about 6'11". For you guys who don't know, I'm the shortest man in my family. Everybody else is like 6'8", 6'9", 6'11". So Uncle Slim up here to the right is with the top hat on, the tall brother. That's my Uncle Slim. He was probably about 20-something back then. And, as he got older, when I got about 14 years old, I kind of gravitated to Uncle Slim a little bit. And Uncle Slim, we'd be riding down Figueroa in his Cadillac. He'd have his finger up with his pink. And he was like, damn. Damn. I'm like, what's wrong, Uncle Slim? He out there looking at the ladies on the street in broad daylight. Figueroa is where the working ladies hang out. I'm just chilling like, oh, okay, what's going on? But yeah, man, so shout out to the family. So that's what he said, Figure. You messy, GCLA. You messy out here. You messy. But Figueroa is like Sasua, okay? That's what it's like, okay? You got a whole variety of different candies and licorices. But anyway, shout out to Nuridan 5. Fellas, you need to read the book by Dr. Helen Smith, Called Men on Strike. I heard about that. I probably need to get that. Why men are boycotting family and dating an American dream and watching the American dream collapse and happy to do. Yeah, that's why Donald Trump is elected. That's why Trump is the president right now, because men have divested from institutions, churches, marriage, college, all these different things. You treat them bad, you ostracize them. Next thing, they become radicalized. They become the chauvinists that you say you don't want them to be. You see what I mean? Because you treated us bad. This is what this I'm strong, independent, crazy, I'll call it eminism, did to women. First wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, got you to the point you don't need the men that help build the country that you live in. Men are the ones that provided welfare and DEI to give women advantages because we're kind and wonderful people. Okay, men are wonderful, kind, generous, caring people. Okay, yes, I know sometimes we can be rough and tumble, but you like that part too. Okay, you need that part too when the dragon comes and the lion and the bear is at the door. But men, compassionate men wanted their daughters and wives and mothers to have opportunities. And so men that created this system and created these countries and these nations, specifically this Western world, we wanted our women to do better, and then women took that and some women just took advantage of it, just terrible. And you start kicking the men in the butt who helped you get to where you are. So shout out to Nuridan FDNY. Hey, to the Hey Big Head ladies, guys are at the post office filling out passport applications, getting on play. Yeah, they are doing that. Now that's another thing. The club scene is not what it used to be in the 80s and 90s. You really just can't go meet men like that. You see what I mean? Fellas a ghost. Somebody type ghost in the chat room. Nuridan FDNY, fellas, put your passports in the sky and repeat after me. By the power of the passport, bros gives us the power. That's what's up, man. We got an anthem now. Yeah, you from the east side. What you know about the east side Avalon? I'm not gonna say your affiliation, sir. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about your affiliation. However, sir, we grew up on the east side. What was we at? 47. We were over there by the bottoms, by the Pueblos. But the crazy thing is, so in around 1980, we moved over to 58th place, right there off of Slauson and Vermont. They used to have a boys market that's, I believe it's now Ralph's Market. So we went from the east side to we went from a community that was filled with red rag affiliates, okay, to a community that was filled with blue rag affiliates. So my uncles and whatnot, having had made acquaintances and associates with different individuals in the Pablo community housing facility, then would often bring those very friends over to the new community that we attended on what I would call the West Side. Particularly the West Side is on the other side of the Harbor Freeway, but nevertheless, so there was always a little tension between the folks in my house, the men in my house, and the local fellas in the community. But I would see them partaking in the art of gambling. Craps was always a winner, and my uncle would often organize community events where different individuals from different parts of town would congregate, and they would commence in the I would say unauthorized gambling events, with different dice games, and they would often partake in pool, billiards, as we say. And it was a very eventful home. Very eventful on lots of stuff. I wrote about a lot of that in my book. But yeah, man, I was born and raised on the east side until I was about 5 years old, and then moved over to the west side of LA, man. So shout out to all my folks from South Central LA, east side, west side, Long Beach, Compton, Inglewood, Watts. And yeah, man, so Uncle D is weathered. I done been around a little bit. But anyway, shout out to everybody. We got 49 super chats. Wow, outstanding. Good looking out, family. I love you guys. Thank you so much for appreciating me. We didn't get 50, but 49 is nifty. Yeah, now, that being the case, get out your feelings. Now, get out of your feelings. I'm going to say something right now that's going to make y'all uncomfortable. But it needs to be said. You may not like Donald Trump. And you don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to like the way he talks. You don't have to like his social media posts. You don't have to like his history. You don't have to like the way he carries himself. Maybe you hate his attitude. Maybe you think he's too blunt, too aggressive, too unpolished. That's fine. But here's what you need to ask yourself. Are you better off today? You think based on the direction we headed that your paycheck is going to stretch further? Here's a good one. Are the streets safer? Is your business thriving? Is your community on the path to being stronger? Are your kids probably going to have a better future? Now, if the answer to that is yes, then maybe, just maybe, Black folks, and everybody else listening, maybe it's time to get out of your feelings and recognize that sometimes you don't get the hero you want, you get the hero you need. Now, for years, many of these politicians lied to you. Shout out to my man FDNY 1677. Remember, fellas, if you have an Xbox, one PlayStation, boy, I ain't playing with you. But anyway, I ain't about to play with you. But look, fam. All these years you've had these politicians from Barack Obama all the way back. They lied to you. They pandered to you. They fed you empty promises just to get your vote. They showed up every 4 years, every 2 years to tell you what you wanted to hear. And then they disappear. While your neighborhoods stay the same but get worse. We had a whole Black president with a whole Black wife. And the Black community didn't do better. Home ownership went down. Employment went down. Now you got Trump. He's not that guy. He is not here to make you feel good like Barack Obama and fill you up with hope and change. He's here to make your wallet fatter, man. He's here to make your country respected and stronger. He's here to make your future brighter. And you don't have to like this man. But his policies are working. The man is trying to get rid of taxes. Not just lower them, but get rid of them. Without all these illegal immigrants driving the wages down, your job is going to have to pay you better. Without all these people who came up here and for what they cleared out the prisons and sent people up here, guess what? Your streets are going to be safer. With all these people now, for either you pay these tariffs or you come bring your manufacturing plants back to the United States, back to Ohio, back to Michigan, back to Illinois, or you're going to pay some high tariffs. You move that, you're going to pay this 20, Canada, businesses in Canada, you're going to pay this 25% tariff, or you're going to build your plant in Michigan, in Wisconsin. That's what you're going to do. And so because of that, your business is going to grow. You have a president who's running your government that's finally putting America first. And if you can't recognize that because you're too caught up in your emotions, then you're choosing failure over success simply because you don't like the messenger. Shh. Look, man, he's not a saint, and he damn sure ain't your savior. But the problem is too many people today are making decisions based on emotions rather than results. You don't have to love Donald Trump. You don't have to ask yourself, you ain't got to lay up in this man's bed. That's Melania's job. But you do have to ask yourself this: do you want to win? Or do you want to complain? Do you want prosperity, security, and opportunity? Or do you want to cry about how this man makes you feel? Feelings don't put food on your table, family. Feelings don't pay your rent. Feelings don't create jobs. Policies do. And for too long, Americans, especially Black Americans, have been emotionally manipulated into voting against our own interests. We've been told we have to hate this man who's actually making things better for America. And we've been told, and supporting the people who have done nothing for us at the same time. This is your wake-up call. You may not like Trump. You may think he's a bigot. You may think he's a racist. Look, man, what if he is? He may never invite you to dinner. He ain't going to play a card game with you. He's not going to have a beer with you. He's not going to have dinner with you. Don't be fooled. But here's the thing. Don't let personal dislike get in the way of your own success. Because at the end of the day, it's not about liking Donald Trump or any other politician, man. It's about liking your paycheck. It's about liking lower crime. It's about liking a booming economy. It's about liking a future where your kids have better opportunities. If you're willing to throw all that away because you don't like his tone or you don't like his attitude or the way he makes you feel, then the problem isn't him issue. Look, you don't have to love the man. I don't love the man. But you need to respect what's working. You need to recognize results. Because the alternative is this. You want to go back to Joe Biden? You want to go back to Barack Obama? You want to go back to Bill Clinton, who wrote that 1995 crime bill in place? Is that what you want to do? Because none of that worked for Black folk. We can go all the way back to 1965. Lyndon B. Johnson, he was the one that foisted this welfare system on. That's what you want to go back to? Is that what you want? Jimmy Carter letting all these Cubans come up through Miami. That's what you want? You want to go back to that? That didn't help us, Black folks. I'm not saying you have to like Donald Trump. I'm not saying he's not a racist. I'm not saying he's not a bigot. I'm saying respect that what he's doing is working for us. Because see, going back to that same tired, broken system that's been failing us for decades, that's not what I want to do. Now the choice is yours. You could either get out of your feelings and get on the grind and start benefiting from these policies that are making America stronger, Or we can go back to what was. I choose the former over the latter. This is Uncle D. I love y'all. Shout out to everybody who came through. Thank you so much, Nerd and FDNY, for getting me to 50. That's nifty. This is Uncle D, and as I always said this time, baby, I am.
Dennis Berlin Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe.